capacity crowd at Subiaco, the big one. North Melbourne and West Coast. More McCurtain took a run at ball. But nothing for that. Down the half-forward, Archer went in solidly. A little flip out to the advantage of Fuster. Not the greatest of kicks. Certainly into space, and that may almost be the first score. In fact, just wide at the behind post for a boundary throw-in.
Metropolis is actually lining up at full forward. Mick Martin has him. Archer does have Gehrig.
Hewitt on Fuster. You've got to contest the throw-in. Hewitt from behind, just a little bit of a nudge. Heady pushed as he kicked. Does register the first score of the match, a minor one to West Coast.
And Peter Bell has been picked up by Michael Braun. He's had some problems with a right knee, but also with a groin, so a player who will have to push his way through the remainder of this season.
King to bring the ball back. Banfield, the player on the mark. He's gone straight down the ground. Jim Barrett reckons there's a couple of goal advantage perhaps to the right end, Banfield. Back to Kemp. It's almost out of bounds, but not quite. Cousins has got it. Still got it. Matera has a ping at the goals, but he too is missed, and that's out of bounds on the full. Free kick to North Melbourne. The obvious recipient down there is going to be Glenn Archer.
Pretty hot tackling there by North Melbourne, so it's pretty evident from the early passages of play that they're here to really make a mark and determined to go home with the 4 points. But having said that, Ross, the Eagles are looking relatively sharp as well.
Oh, my word, just an unusual missed kick by Dean Kemp too to try and set up Cousins, which caused that little bit of a turnover there in the pocket.
And the weather today, not too bad for football. Possible showers at the moment, we can't see them.
But there's only two players on the other side of the attacking 50 for North, and that's McIntosh and Scholl.
This is Gehrig. He too has a shot at the goals, and that looks okay. First blood to the West Coast Eagles.
Yes, and Glenn Archer, the player who had to go for the footy there as it bounced in front of him. Got the awkward one. He also favoured Gehrig. And when Gehrig's in that situation, he is most dangerous. There you see the fickle bounce there for Archer, who attacked it. And Gehrig behind him gets the favourable bounce, and he's pretty sharp in that situation.
Got a early goal against Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, Fraser, and then struggled, so let's hope that's not going to repeat itself for young star.
Fraser Gehrig, leading goal kicker for the West Coast this year. That's his 34th goal. Australian honours last year and continuing on with that form. A bit of a surprise if he didn't again get all Australian honours in 1998. Keary and Jakovic, the matchup we all wanted to see. Neither could come out with it on that occasion. North Melbourne go forward, driven up by Winston Abraham towards right half forward. Almost a mark taken down there by Waterman. Roberts puts North into attack for the first time. That could bounce through. Shannon Grant taken over the boundary line with the football. That will be thrown in.
Well, it did very much look like Shannon Grant was looking for his left foot there when it had to be just a very, very quick kick on the right foot. But we see him taken out of the play there by Drew Banfield. He was over him like the proverbial blanket.
Banfield best and fairest a couple of seasons back. There's the new look Morrison, like James Cook. Well, they've got the same hair dye anyway. Jakovic sockets it off the ground. You're going to see it marked by Corey McCurtain. Centering kick from him. Keary and Jakovic again. Peter Matera. Harvey kicks up towards centre wing. Archer got a fingernail to it. Well, it comes again. Good second effort. That was great play by Archer. Wild kick out of the pack. Comes up towards where Kemp had it and lost it. Stevens goes in solidly. There's going to be a ball up just outside the centre square on the outer wing.
There's a bit of a chest mark drop there by Scholl. She should have taken, given the effort by Archer on the outer side, Jared.
Yes, well, that was I was going to highlight that. Glenn Archer's attack on the footy was just superb, and I guess he often sets the trend for North Melbourne. And I just wonder, Ross, whether there's been anybody attack the footy as hard as Glenn Archer in the history of the AFL.
Well, you have to agree with that, and also his ability to get a second and third effort in is outstanding. And Adrian, you got something for us?
Just the bench Ross, Rock, Chandler, Anderson and Crocker for North Melbourne. For the Eagles, White, Wooden, Simmons and Stone.
Ball. Wins it out. Bell. That was a solid one. Stevens. Worsfold. Gets taken high by King. And words were exchanged.
It's a square off. There's a bit happening.
There is a bit happening.
Yeah.
Couple going in, and Eddie comes in.
They weren't happy
Pike.
with-
Well, there's a couple thrown there. Pick out which back you want to watch.
Yes, West Coast weren't happy with the treatment of the player on the ground. Not sure who it was. And of course, the square off came. Worsfold's a player connected with King. Then King came back and gave him a hip and shoulder. Then it developed from there.
Who's going to get the kick here?
Well, it looks like David King is going to be the lucky fellow, because I reckon there's a lottery in there, Ross.
It was.
Yes, Aidan Kennedy, yep, he is. Well, as Pete said, there are a number of separate bouts going, so take your pick. This is it here. So that's where the West Coast players weren't happy with the way David King tried to get the ball out of the air as John Worsfold comes off the ground.
Blood rule.
Blood rule.
And there's always Glenn Archer well and truly in the middle of things, and geez, you'd be stiff if you were in a barney and all of a sudden you stood up and there was Glenn Archer and you had to take him on.
I'd get down again, I think. Josh Wooden coming on. Played 18 games last year. Barrett.
Pete, just to split over the left eyebrow of John Worsfold in that semi-melee.
Semi-melee, was it? Okay. Well called.
Yes, and shoulder play to stand up there in front to centre forward, Pete, to take that match.
Good kick by Shaw. As I said, 5 goals last time these two sides met. Reed, good mark. Very promising youngster for West Coast. McIntosh.
And just having a look at that, Peter, it did look as if the West Coast Eagles players are very well prepared for the North Melbourne attacking style, and that is kicking the ball over the head into attack, because they were down there in their numbers.
Derrick gets it back to Heady on centre wing. It's been a bright opening by West Coast. Going hard at the football, as you would expect. Now the crowd baying for a free kick there for in the back. Not paid. Scott comes up with the football. Kicks it up towards centre field. There was a free kick going to North Melbourne again.
Well, Pete, there should have been a free kick to Dean Kemp at the other end. He was taken the back by Stevens.
Here is the recipient. Abraham in front, Scholl behind. 2 fires for North Melbourne. King down from defence. Has a shot at goal. Puts it through for behind.
Well, she's pretty willing at the present time, and everybody that has been given an opportunity to take out an opponent is certainly not standing back. They are really making the physical encounters count at the moment.
Waterman to Wooden to Ball. Ball in centre wing. Clear of Roberts. And towards half forward. Gehrig has to punch from behind. And Archer will be more than content to see that over the boundary line. It will be thrown in. Left half forward flank for West Coast.
And again, Glenn Archer just prepared to backpedal with the flight of the ball, not knowing what was coming from behind him, and got in front of Gehrig and able just to push that ball forward.
Hewitt with ball. Leaked by Hewitt, former basketballer. He's also in tennis too. Houston. More hand passes to Matera. Certainly sold him into trouble. Can they get out of this, the Eagles? Important ball here for Cousins at midfield. Lovely ball to get around, or almost get around. Big McCurtain. Kemp. Phil Matera. Knee bandage he's got too.
Well, so that handball was spot on then. Gehrig was away because Glenn Archer had Phil Matera set up from about 15 metres away.
He was in top gear.
And just missed him, which left Gehrig free. If the handball had hit its target, Gehrig was off, and a scoring opportunity may have resulted.
So we're on centre wing still. They all missed it. Heady gets
That's
ripped
got to
on
be
the
a
ground
free
by
kick.
Abraham.
Got to be a free kick.
You would reckon?
Has it been paid?
Well, the players stopped, expecting
It was
it.
paid by umpire Kennedy in the forward 50 for West Coast, not the umpire on the scene, which was Vince Cersei.
So Brett Heady with the free kick. Not a great kick. Martin. Hand pass comes out to Reed. This will be a goal. Ball 5 metres out, kicks it. I think it was Kemp originally with the hand pass to start that play on its way.
No question, he's the creator, but he's the one that North have to lock down. They're using Anthony Stevens on him at the moment, but just his ability to set something up And Ball was actually calling for Reid to run through to play on with this. You see here Kemp just inside, read it beautifully. Reid's running on. Ball was saying, no, you come through and kick it. You need Reid to handball too, and he kicks it off the side of his boot, but luckily he was close enough to goal that he scored it for them.
Jason Ball got the goal. Hand pass coming originally from Kemp to set that play on its way. Big leap by McKernan. The first two to West Coast, a good psychological boost for them anyway. And there's Kemp again doing the hard work in the engine room at midfield. Stevens, good solid bump. North still can't clear the zone. Matera comes in. Now pass going to ball this up just about 10 metres wide of the centre circle. 2 goals the difference in favour of West Coast. Barra.
A couple of interesting matchups for you. Back pocket Chad Morrison on Mark Roberts. Martin Pike halfback flank on Ben Cousins. And Josh Wooden's been picked to play on Winston Abraham this week, obviously.
Holding decision on Ball, the goal kicker. About giving it to Wooden, who came on to replace Worsfold, who left the field with the blood rule. There's plenty of distance with that. Well inside 50. Punch away by Martin. Bell, a little flip up to Hewitt. Down the spine of the ground. Carey and Jakovic duel. McIntosh almost leagued. Comes out with the football to Wooden. Back to McIntosh. The Eagles working it well. The old 1-2 from McKenna. Long kick that time. Abraham. In fact, it's Pickett gets back to take the mark.
This is where sometimes they can fall down when they're attacking like that, not having a regular centre-half forward come full forward. Their attacking moves always a little bit stymied. Players down there on 1-off, 2-off games like Metropolis today. And just like that little bit of system when they get in that forward 50.
Scholl. Carey. Jakovic kicked out of the contest there. Carey's kick to Roberts. A little bit too low for the refrigerator. Peter Matera can't keep it in play. Out of bounds in front of Simpson. And a throw in North Melbourne's right forward pocket.
Wayne Carey taking that mark. That's the sort of effort he has to get into. It seems just to run forward and try and get away from Jakovic. He's run a fair bit today. He's trying to run himself around a bit too much at the moment, but if he can present himself like that and get the ball delivered in that fashion, there's always going to be a chance to get on top.
Roberts confronted by Waterman and the new look Morrison.
I think Nick Moult has to be pretty happy though that he's getting his possessions up around the centre square area,
sure. Yep.
rather than being within goal kicking
He's
distance.
even been at half back too, Jared, so you're quite right.
Robertson, Morrison, Carey on the end of it. Well, almost a kick. Jakovic. This goes a little bit further up towards the centre square. Chance for McKernan, keeps it away from Ball, flips it further forward for Hewitt off the ground. Inside 50, now King. Goes long and misses to the right-hand side for one behind. So he's kicked 2 behinds.
That's the sort of attacking play that Peter Matera will have to be careful with, Jared. I'd suggest with David King. He's always prepared to go forward very hard. He goes back well, but they both play a similar style of game. So when you match yourself with pace, you'll be very careful that you cut the other player off defensively as well.
Morrison. Shaw stands the mark. McIntosh in the back pocket. Kemp. Good effort. Flips it up. Didn't quite find the target. Well, it did find Braun, but he was off balance. That's out of bounds. So Rock coming on. As Dennis Pagan makes another change.
Harvey the player to go off, Pete.
Rock hasn't had the greatest of seasons. Be very keen to get into the action and get into it quickly. Blakey in front. Oh, Kemp again. He's having a good first quarter. Bell chases. Still Kemp. Puts it out wide. Martin again with a big fist away. Gets it clear of Metropolis. Chance for Reid. North had the numbers. The boundary line is too close, or is it Hewitt a chance to pick it up in front of Metropolis, which he does. Loose hand pass, a little bit of aerial ping pong. Heady just outside 50. Wobbles it up towards full forward. And it will be taken over the line down there by North Melbourne.
And Ross, the matchup of Phil Reid, who is an outstanding young player on Shannon Grant, just looks to favour Reid in the pace department at
no
the
question.
moment.
Yeah, Grant knows where to get around the park, but if Reid stays with him, he'll run away from him with that pace and has got the ability to run all day as well.
Used to it, Hewitt.
The other matchup too, Jared, down while we're there at Scott on Phil Matera is a good one. Just saw in that previous contest too, Pete, when Martin and Metropolis came out. Mickey Martin's very much decided, and he has done for quite some time, to punch all the time. He perhaps could have taken a mark and settled the game down.
He's done that at least 3 times in the quarter so far. Here's Cousins on the boundary line, bends it with the right foot. That would have been a sensational goal that he brought that off. and he kicks only one behind.
And interesting that Peter Matera is trying to get himself onto John Blakey. Banfield is trying to get onto David King, who's trying to get onto Peter Matera. So we've got a bit of a dance routine happening in the middle of the ground.
Designed over which David King to kick in. He's North Melbourne's only scorer so far with 2 behind. Fuster and takes the mark in front of Corey McCurdy. Just inside the boundary line. Good kick and a half to goal from there. Centering kick from him. Grant had a chance to pick it up. He's opposite number 6 likewise. He's in the thick of things. That's Drew Banfield. It's tough in the clinches. Heady could have almost given away a free kick there, but it will be a ball up. It's 25 metres out from goal.
Great desperate play there from some of the North defenders to try and tide that ball up. A couple of West Coast players had an opportunity to grab it cleanly, but were just throttled there by the North desperation.
Fuster and Hewitt. Fuster wins out. Braun looked for the free kick as he reeled back. I wasn't being conned. Another ball up, same spot, halfway through the first quarter.
Umpires blow their whistles quickly here, Pete. They'll clear the game around. They can stop these packs forming.
Fuster and Hewitt, same players. Blakey, a little gift to Bell, sold him into trouble. He got taken high.
He's been lucky there because he definitely ducked his head.
The umpire says the advantage rule. Blakey's kick up to Carey, looking for options across half forward. McCurden says go long. He does that. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery, but Winston Abraham made a meal of the mark. Now Wooden takes him. Crowd was looking for a free kick for holding the ball. The umpire calls play on. McIntosh will do just that. Clearing dash by the West Australian veteran, and the young veteran at that, Braun. Looks like a try. Takes it out of bounds right in the middle of the interchange gates.
Jared, just looking at this, would you think that Winston was expecting someone to come towards him from with the flight of the ball? That's why he took his eye off it.
He may well have just been having a bit of a look there, Ross, but that was the classic North Melbourne forward play at the present time. Carey taking the ball and then kicking it into space. Abraham's running onto it, but that was certainly one he should have converted.
It's out of bounds again. Again, right in the middle of the interchange area. Still 2 goals the difference. North Melbourne goalless so far. Past the halfway mark of the quarter.
We've now got Blakey with Banfield and King on Matera.
Robertson Morrison, in fact, it's over their heads. Morrison kicks it out of mid-air. It was pretty good.
This has been one of the finds of the year.
Without doubt.
He's a fantastic defender. He goes for everything. He's electrifying and great entertainment value.
Played all 16 games too, Jared. Too high, Carey.
Well, they paid the one earlier, they've got to pay that one, but they've got to pay it to everyone, Pete. They've got to pay all the infringements in that situation. Now, you can't afford to have those ones which are each way favour some players and not others.
Well, players like consistency. So Jakovic free kicked. Carey takes it. Up to half forward, ball, doing well.
I don't think Corey McKenna was ever going to mark that going that way.
Peter Matera. Fuster.
And that's a terrific mark under some pressure there from Hewitt. The Eagles, you've got to say, just looking a little bit sharper as they go into their forward line at the moment.
Taking the point so far. They would have liked a little bit more on the board because they've had most of the play. Heady. Martin again punches, but it goes behind. Chandler. Mops up to Archer.
I think that was Pike Peak who's actually got the job. I was about to say before, he's got the job on Kemp for a while now. They've taken Stevens off, and Stevens with Cousins.
Archer's at centre half back. McCurden. Abraham. Over the head of Reid. Chance for Stevens. He missed it. Cousins did. Back to Peter Matera. Blistering pace at midfield. Kicks up towards half forward. Excellent vision to his brother who slips over unaccountably. He had the break. Archer had the footy and then lost it. Solid tackle. Geary, who gives it to Wooden. Now Wooden's got plenty of time to run in to an open goal and kicks only behind. That was a bad miss.
Well, it's a square off now. We saw Winston Abraham miss the setup at the forward area in a similar vein then to what Phil Matera did. Had the opportunity beautifully created by his brother and didn't take it on. And now Wooden had the chance to finish off.
But I guess to Phil Matera's credit, he did make the blue, cost himself a shot at goal, but he set up another one by the second effort, getting on with that tackle onto Glenn Archer.
Shannon Grant goes straight down the centre of the ground. Shaw He's let him down. Marks in front of McIntosh.
Dennis Pagan has got Corey McKernan playing the first centre-half forward. I think trying to get Wayne Carey a bit closer to goal.
Pike to Carey.
This is a set up again, Jared. King's run hard for him.
He's kicked two behind so far. Can he make it a goal? Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Oh, Ronaldo, eat your heart out.
Well, he had to do something freakish there because Carey waited and waited. He knew that's what was going to be set up. He didn't know who was going to come down the ground for him. King was on the other side of the ground on the tip of the square as Carey took control of that footy. And the kick around favoured him, although it was running away. But, Jared, that's outstanding, isn't it? Dacos?
Yeah, that's what you call it.
David Dacos?
That is outstanding. But the structure, the way they got that goal has been a highlight this year.
David King certainly watching the World Cup. Ronaldo would have been proud of that. He's got his record clean because he's kicked all North Melbourne scores so far. 1 goal, 2. McKenna up the half forward. Martin again tries to punch. Oh, Archer, great tackle. Not rewarded by the umpire. It was Mickey Martin Cannon did. No, it wasn't. It was Scott Cannon into from behind. He picks himself up a little bit the worse for where the boundary umpire was throwing.
Well, without the Archer tackle, as you see this again, Jared, no question they're away with they.
It's getting buried, isn't it?
Mickey Martin would tap you on the back and say, thank you very much.
Comes back to a boundary throw in. Roberts, fresh air shot nearly. Cousins pushed as he kicked. Still okay from an Eagles point of view. This is going to be interesting. Oh, Phil Matera. Scott tried to knock it clear, or in fact maybe rush it behind. It resulted in a goal.
He just got enough on that to force it over the line.
I'm not sure whether it's an instruction from Mick Malthouse or not, but it does look as if he's instructed Daniel Metropolis just to drag Mick Martin away from the goals and up the ground. Not so much because he can't play there, but just wants that space behind, because Phil Reid and Phil Matera are both running into that space pretty cleverly.
Ball's kick knocked away by Pike. Reid picks it up right on the boundary line ahead of Bell, has a snapshot. He's missed, I think, just about the lot. It's out of bounds at the full.
Yeah, no question, Jared, to turn Mickey Martin around when he's down between full forward or full back and centre half back. He doesn't have the recovery pace to turn and pick up, so fair call. Adrian, you got something for us?
Speaking about playing up the ground, Craig Scholl and Wayne Carey are doing exactly the same thing in the middle with McIntosh and Jakovic miles away from goal, and just leaving Adam Simpson in the in full forward line with Chris Waterman. And that was the reason that Carey had to hold that kick before that gave King a chance to run in there. So some great tactics going on, just a great game at the ground level.
Peter Bell's kick marked by Rock. Shaw over the top of his skipper Carey. Banfield, the loose ball at half forward. Oh, good mark, Reid. I know you like his style, Jared, and he does look the goods, doesn't he, as a youngster?
Well, I think he's been just one of the finds of the year, Phil Reid. And he made the transition against Brisbane from a defender up into the forward zone, and I think he was one of the key reasons that they went away with that game in the second half, because he hit the packs hard. He really does have a defensive bent to his game, which I'm sure his coach is pretty appreciative of. And he's also capable of kicking a goal. We just saw there just general awareness to be able to take that good mark.
He was rover for Western Australia in the Under-18 Championships last year, and has made the transition very successfully. 35 metres out, directly in front. He kicks his first.
Well, North have got their goal through a freakish kick from David King. West Coast have been more structured and gone forward, and quite agree with Jerry that Reid, having had that defensive bent to his game, no question when he does go forward, or any player goes forward, having been a defender, does make you a better player, Jerry.
Yes, and I guess Dennis Pagan a big wondering where Shannon Grant was in that scenario.
So Philip Reid gets the West Coast Eagles' third goal, 7 effective shots to 3. North Melbourne's goal coming from a real freak effort from David King. Rock nearly took the centre tap out. Kernan tried to get it further forward. Ball's kick was very effectively smothered. Kemp looks for a free kick. There's none there according to the umpire. And another ball up is going to follow.
Brady Anderson is on for North, and I think John Blake is the player to come off.
Just looking at the share of the footy, the West Coast have had 61 possessions at the moment. North Melbourne just 36. So I think they are dominating the midfield competition at the moment, the West Coast.
Anderson, his kick was straight up in the air, knocked further forward by Pickett. Kick back to Fuster. Rock for the hand pass, finds Bev on the end of it.
And he's one of the players that they really do need to get a bit of a lift out of. Just 4 possessions at the moment.
And this guy too, Winston Abraham. That's a terrible kick, Winston. Scholl gives away the hand pass. North Melbourne again through Anderson. Up towards full forward. They'll rush it behind here. Waterman hits the behind post. And another interchange being made. Blakey comes back on.
And Grant is off, so Jared, no question there, as you mentioned, with the Reid mark taken in goal. Where was Shannon Grant? And he now pays some penalties off the ground.
So a chance for North here to get their second. Left forward pocket throw in. Jakovic up behind Carey. Kicked away by Banfield. And finds the boundary line, as I'm sure he intended.
Well, just over 3 minutes of play to go, and if North Melbourne could just snag one here and hold that deficit, they are kicking into just a slight breeze, I suppose, and I think Dennis Pagan will be pretty pleased because the West Coast could be well and truly further in front at this moment.
There it is.
Well, there's the one. Bell goes into goal and gets it.
Well, he is a very, very good player, Peter Bell, and a number of people comparing him to Greg Williams after his State of Origin game last week. And he is one player, Ross, that has come from the blue. He was picked up from the Dockers, and he's just improved out of sight over the last few years in this team under Dennis Pagan. We just saw then his natural ball skills, his natural ability to read the play. Probably wasn't all that impressed with his finish, but it got the job done.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter, it doesn't show what sort of a kick it was to get the goal. He got the goal, but you're right, his diligence is outstanding. He's complemented that with an improved skill level.
So the West Coast Eagles haven't really got value for money. They've got a slender lead. Phil Matera's kick up towards half forward, but the Eagles certainly have had much more of the play. Stevens confronted, loses out. Boundary line is too close though for Corey McKernan, and it will be a throw in 60 metres from goal, left half forward for West Coast.
Yes, and McKernan effectively playing centre half back at the moment on ball with Fuster and Hewitt going together, as Roberts is off and Shannon Grant back on.
And I wonder whether Dennis Pagan just had a word to him on the phone, or perhaps he was just trying to break that that tag with Phil Reid. He's now got Morrison, Shannon Grant.
Pike tried to break through, unsuccessful. Peter Matera successful getting it over the boundary line. 8 points the margin, close to quarter time.
John Blakey has gone on to Phil Reid, and well, Phil will find it difficult getting a kick on Blakey, one of the best men in the business when he's got a blanket type role on any player.
Kemp actually did the ruck work, kicked away by King. He kicked North Melbourne's first 8 points. A freak goal. McIntosh. Oh, nearly runs out of room. Wrapped up there by Hewitt. Fuster. A little gift to Jakovic. King. Still inside the line. No, he's not. And Peter Matera looks as though he's hurt.
I think he might have got a kick in the hammy.
Oh. Now that's a bit stupid.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a very well played by King. He knew it was coming. He just went to ground. No free kick.
Taggers me, there's no free kick. There's nothing more in it than that, but you'd reckon a free kick had to be paid.
At least. So boundary throw-in is the decision. This includes the very parochial Eagles crowd in front of us. Phil Matera, tackled by Pike. Eddie gives it back to Kemp. Kemp up towards left half forward. Martin had his back to the play there. Ball went at best and takes the mark.
Mitchell White on the ground. Mick Martin's got hold of him.
That's a huge roost to bring that in the goal square.
Sorry, Pete, there's a free kick being played down the field now because David King went and knocked Matera over in the same way that Matera did to him in front of the umpires. Now they're going to pay a free kick for it. So the umpire on that occasion, Hayden Kennedy, say there's a free kick down the ground. In the other instant, there's no free kick. So we've got two sets of rules here.
Looks like it.
Yeah, it's a tough one if you're one of the umpires because clearly Hayden Kennedy's made the right decision.
Which should have been made in the previous one.
If he's going to follow consistency, well, he should have ignored it. But where do you finish it? But a costly one to North Melbourne in the finish. They had it all working for them.
It may be costly.
Well, Roscoe's been... he's predicted this fellow is going to kick the goal, and he's a very good judge.
Well, he's within kicking distance.
Oh, he can finish very well, Phil Reid.
Kick from about 35 metres at most. And gets the goal, so that's his second.
Well, you wouldn't be all that impressed if you were John Blakey, because his man has just broken the shackle somewhat with a real-life free kick, and I reckon that you wouldn't be all that happy in the coaching box at North Melbourne, Ross.
Well, I'd suggest that Malthouse wouldn't have been pleased with Matera. He's inclined to do that on occasions when he's frustrated, but more importantly, they were lucky they didn't get away. Well, they did get away with it, but Dennis Pagan, particularly when the ball's 50 metres away.
But they've lost the momentum, haven't they? North Melbourne had the control. Exactly. They'd won the tactical and the mental battle. Now it's forfeited.
Margin out to 14 points. Last minute of the first quarter here at Subiaco. Oh, Hewitt almost a throw, but he didn't punch it clear. Morrison taken high. Should get, and will get a free kick.
Just a couple of North players more intent on the player at the moment, physically making contact rather than going for the football.
Banfield was his target, went a little bit too far for him. Phil Matera taken out of the contest. He'll get a free for in the back.
It's going the other way.
I think it's going the other way. You're right.
Not sure what for. He tunnel balled it under, but it looks like a slap rather than a throw.
Yeah, I mean, I would have play on, but
Brady Anderson has the free kick. 97 Sandover medalist. Jakovic took off before nominations. Carey, good hand pass. Could set up a goal to Rock. And does. He's kicked it.
Well, it was an outstanding individual performance that time from Wayne Carey. He had Jakovic in his back at the start. He maintained his ground, great strength. And then it was the classic North Melbourne ploy, the forward structure. There it is. He knows there's going to be a runner. There's nobody between the ball and Anthony Rock. And an interesting choice of kicks, but it was spot on.
Right one to do.
Again, it was. All his momentum going away from the goal, and he boomeranged back beautifully.
King's goal was a classic soccer effort. Bell put one through low. That one there from Rock, very similar. High on Braun, you would have thought.
Well,
ball up.
You can't infringe it. If a player's over the footy, you've got to protect him. So there's another change. Grant's coming off again, and Harvey to come back on. But if a player's over the footy and other players, opposition players, come in from behind, he's got to be given a free kick.
So a bounce just wide of the centre circle. Pickett thumps it some 25 metres further downfield. McIntosh, yes, to Jakovic. Over the head of Scholl. McKenna, he'll give it to Peter Matera. He seems to have recovered from that knock he got earlier. Terrible kick though. The out of bounds, or Archer will mark it. It's the latter option. They mark a free kick to Archer. I think the mark would have been paid. There's the siren though for the end of the first quarter. West Coast Eagles have a lead, but the 4-4, you'd suggest they probably had about 65 to 70% of the play. They haven't really been rewarded, have they?
As Jared said, I think you'll go through it again, Jared. The numbers have told for West Coast. You look at that, they're nearly 78 possessions there to North Melbourne, who are just 48. So they're well in front in terms of getting the footy. And Jared said midfielders where they've controlled that, they just haven't taken their opportunities when they have gone forward.
I think an important time was when they closed down a little bit on Dean Kemp. He was destroying them early, and that change, he got a couple of possessions here a couple of minutes ago, but they were just in one passage of play. But his impact was lessened a fair bit by Martin Pike when he was given the job on him. But I think both coaches would be happy they're away, but I reckon, as you said, Peter, West Coast had an opportunity to be a few more goals in front.
They certainly did. They've kicked 4-4. North Melbourne have kicked 3-2. The margin is 8 points at Subiaco. Subiaco Capacity House here to see this stoush. North Melbourne has never won at this venue. They played here 3 times. Stevens puts the Roos into attack, bounces it towards half forward. Carey taken out of the contest by a fickle bounce at least. McIntosh overruns it, might prove costly. Scholl's hand pass into space in the forward pocket. Harvey pressuring McIntosh, does keep it in play. That was well done. Abraham, didn't see too much of him in the first quarter. Scholl, great smother. Jakovic gets clear of Carey. The two superstars. Honours about even in the first quarter. Rock takes the mark over Braun.
This is a very good mark too. And a great kick out of the centre by Anthony Stevens, who started this term in better fashion than last.
Rock's kick. Scholl, gee, was almost being held there. Fuster breaks away. Attempted smother by King, ineffective. Cousins close to the boundary line, backs out over the line. The ball was still in play. King tried to give it to Bell, not a good hand pass. King goes again, took his teammate, or nearly did, out of play.
Pulled the kick, thank goodness.
Yes, wouldn't. He went down. A little flip up to Hewitt, came from Abraham, back to Bell. They're running into each other, North Melbourne. Now it comes back to Brady Anderson. It may bounce through for a goal. It has done. Or did it hit the post?
The base to the post, Pete. It was a clever kick by Anderson. He knew he had to keep it low. He's had some experience on this ground before. Dean Kemp was running back there to try and run the ball down, but it was going away from him, just hitting the base of the post.
Almost as good as David King's in the first quarter, which was as good a goal off the ground as you'll see. If you missed it, watch for it in the highlights. An absolute gem. So McIntosh marking in the back pocket. Banfield in front of Brady Anderson.
Jason Ball maintaining his position at centre-half forward. He's dragged Corey McKernan out of the play. McKernan going all the way with him.
Gehrig and Archer, speaking of superstars, shaping up to each other. Broad, clear of rock this time, marks left centre wing. Kicks down the half forward. Ball overruns it. Kemp. Good smother there by Pickett. North through Blakey, should be able to clear. The Roos do. Gehrig went through Fuster. Jakovic clear of Carey. The deal we all wanted to see, or a little bit of a push. Might have been against McKernan. The umpire lets it go. McKernan taps it out. Blakey's kick to the boundary line is, well, it's effective. Barrett's got something for us down there on the boundary.
Pete, the absent forward line of North Melbourne, it's incredible. They just all play outside the 50-metre area with this breeze, and I guess then they turn and run into it. So, interesting strategy.
Simmons on the ground. King, slung, Rock. Bounce beat Scholl. Fuster tries to paddle it off the ground. It's flipped out the front towards Cousins. Gets clear of Pike. Desperate lunge, ineffective. Martin in front, doesn't
down
touch
the
this
field,
time.
Pete. Yeah, the collision between Pickett and Cousins, which I thought was split second, has gone in favour of West Coast. They're getting the kick down the ground.
Well, sort of ticky touch with it, didn't it? I mean, there wasn't too much in it. So can the Eagles capitalise? Kick comes down there from Mitchell White. Touch, I think, yes.
I think it was that Simpson just getting his hand on it at the last minute. Yeah, Mitchell White becomes an important player for West Coast now because he's such a clever player, uses the ball well and just floats across half forward. Mickey Martin has that match up at the moment. Metropolis is off the ground, so a better structure for West Coast.
David King, good long kick. Jakovic punches not quite clear of Carey. Martin punches it straight into the arms of Peter Matera. Matera, low trajectory pass, or Reed might have been taken high. Gets it out to Cousins. Cousins' hand pass is effective to Banfield. Gets onto the left, clever kick. Gehrig 10 metres out, goals. Gehrig gets his second. Good forward play by the Eagles. 5-5 to 3-3.
Well, it's a critical ball on half forward for the Eagles, half back for the Kangaroos. It had to be won, and we saw that Glenn Archer came through like a steam train and elected to punch the ball forward. Matera just happened to be sitting off the pack, and it hit him on the chest, and the resultant turnover, well, was to the delight of the Eagles supporters.
Fraser Gehrig getting his second goal, joining Phil Reed as the leading goal kicker for the club so far with 2.
There's 30 players on this nearest wing here, all matching up with Carey. Jakovic one out inside 50.
Fuster up high. Kemp pursued by Pike. And also Pickett ridden into the ground.
Kemp has to get a free.
And Reckon might be hurt too. I've got the glasses on him. He came up very awkwardly from that tackle. Get back to that in just a moment. Morrison a chance. Doesn't get the bounce. Rock does. To Roberts. Off the left. Long left foot by the refrigerator. Winston Abraham. Desperate attempt to mark, but it goes through for the high.
It's a shoulder or an
Kemp
arm.
coming off.
Yes, he was taken behind. Should well have got a free kick. The second time he's been tackled like this. Pickett, the offender, just drags him down. His arms were pinned. Had no way of controlling the collision there or the contact with the ground. So he's now replaced by Phil Matera.
It's a bad blow for the Eagles too. Morrison takes the mark just up from the back pocket. Goes in short to Banfield. Too short for him, in fact. Rock trying to mark, just punches it over the boundary.
Yeah, and I think the North Melbourne would be disappointed with the result from that kick from the fridge, Mark Roberts. He had Winston Abraham running free as per their setup. He elected to go the long bomb. It wasn't accurate.
Let's see what he does with this one. Carey looks for the free kick. Was he being held? Won't matter, he'll kick a goal. And he has. Strength.
Yes, and I'd suggest he was being held. He's now querying the umpire, Vince Searcy, because they're the sorts of free kicks that have to be paid, and that's why the umpire's in that area for, why we have 3 in each quarter of the ground. But nevertheless, the kick favoured him to his side of the contest there. He was able to turn inside. And very hard to stop in that situation. It's been an absorbing duel between those two players.
Honours even.
Carey 6 and 1, Djakovic 5 and 1. Carey with a goal. You have to say that Carey on top at the moment.
Well, Carey kicked a goal and he had a hand in the goal that was kicked by Anthony Rock in the first quarter. So he's been pretty effective up forward, despite the fact that Djakovic is up there with him. Fused and missed it. Went up high, no result. Phil Matera back onto the ground. Get some news on Kim's injury shortly. Pike's kick out of the congested at midfield towards left half forward. Bounce didn't favour Abraham. Banfield knocks it close to the boundary line. McKenna takes it just outside. Let's go down to Barrow. What's the latest on that injury?
Pete, a lot of concern about Dean Kemp, and he's in a lot of pain too. It's his left shoulder, and he's being looked at closely by medical staff. I'd say at this stage, well, 50-50 to come back.
It didn't look too good. Very similar to Dunstan and Silvani, wasn't it? Brawn.
And the sort of problem that Guy McKenna's had to put up with too, Pete. He's still heavily strapped with his right shoulder, but in those tackles, you have no way of protecting yourself when you go to the ground and you're going full pelt. Your arms are pinned. You can't put anything down apart from your scone to try and stop yourself falling.
Phil Matera to his brother Peter. Bell went pretty solidly at him, but missed him. Oh, Brawn was taken high. No, not according to the umpire.
I was going to be very careful. Any contact, they've got to just whistle up. I mean, you've got to protect players with the footy. Over it. And he stays that a bit.
Well, Simmons, surely.
Well, the free kicks, Jared, 7 to 6.
Well, they're 7 all now.
Yep.
It's not a statistic that's really meaningful. I mean, if the free kicks are being paid.
I think most of the time, though, Peter, as Ross has been saying a couple of times, if a bloke's got his head over the ball and he's playing the footy, he's got to be protected.
Couldn't agree more.
The game's structured on that basis.
Wooden from ball.
Well done, Blakey.
Deft footwork by the former Lion. Back to Martin.
Yeah, that's down the ground. Yep.
Abraham will take the mark into a free kick.
Fair bit of feeling in this game, and often it is, I guess, reflected best by the amount of down the field kicks that we see, and there's been plenty of those this afternoon.
Carey and Djakovic. Carey was, well, he half asked the question for 50 metres. Spiral punt kick. Deep and long. McKenna and Rock. Through for the rush behind the North Melbourne.
The thing too with players wanting to make more contact on body than following the footy, it then becomes a problem if one side concentrates on that too much. They allow the other side to run away with the ball, and it also detracts from your fitness level too. If you continue trying to make contact with your body, it just wears you down.
North have looked good so far in the second quarter. Waterman to kick in. Goes to the outer side. Simmons takes the lead. He subsequently honours it. Simmons to left half back. 35 plays 29. So just a goal with it now. Well, it could have almost been a free kick too. Now lets it go. Bell. Anderson started on the bench. Over the head of Banfield. Djakovic backed his judgment there.
It was a great mark, wasn't it?
He had to get away, Jared, didn't he?
Yep. As you said, Peter, he did back himself. Carey wasn't in the area, so he took him on and he's thrust this ball into attack.
Well, nobody in Fuster's area either. McKernan dropping back.
It's an absolute waste, that disposal.
It was.
They really are breaking down across this half-forward line, the West Coast Eagles. It's a bit of a concern for them.
Stevens, centre half back. He goes straight down the ground. Ooh, gee. Waterman showed great courage there. Djakovic. Phil Matera. Pike did well. Still got the ball in play. Matera applies a tackle. It's out of bounds.
Hasn't he improved enormously in that area, Jared? Martin Pike, his discipline.
I was going to say discipline.
His fitness level, he's just got a fist in there, a la David Dench.
I think one of the keys to it is his fitness just enables him, and his flexibility enables him to go with just about any sort of player on the ground.
Tall, short, mobile, whatever. Rock started on the bench. Carey really lunged at that one to take the mark in front of his adversary.
And all the North players just sitting off at the moment. Scholl's gone to the square, but he'll have a shot, Carey. His distance What's the umpire talking about?
Well, not sure, but we saw there a classic, I guess, difference between the mobility of these two players. At top speed, there's probably not much between them, but over that first 10 metres, Wayne Carey just had a clear advantage over Glenn Jakovich, and he made the ball that most players wouldn't be able to get.
Exactly, that's what allowed him to get to the footy in the first place.
The goal here will level the scores. Carey's kicked one, had a hand in another. Distance won't be a problem for him. Just on 50. It's coming around, it's coming back. It's close. Given it a goal.
It's a telling goal, Peter. It's the one that they needed. It's brought them back square with West Coast, and they've gone forward often enough. And there's no question that if he can break away from Jakovich in that situation, it can be so telling. Conversely, Peter, as Gerard said, when West Coast have come to their half-forward line, they're expecting Jason Ball to play across that area. The kick before from Fuster, coming out of defence after a good mark by Jakovich, was wasted so much because it went straight to, I think, Corey McKernan.
Wayne Carey gets his second goal, and the score is now level after the West Coast led by 8 points at quarter time. So a good quarter so far by North Melbourne, whereas the Eagles took the points in the first term. Bell from Stevens onto Scott. Scott to half forward. Good kick to Hewitt, who is clear of Fuster. Doesn't waste any time, plays on any score to put North Melbourne in front. It's a minor one, and they lead by 1 point.
It's a clever kick, Pete, to come back inside like that, because we're running toward goal, and Hewitt was free at centre-half forward, so they virtually squared the ball right across the ground to find him. He probably should have kicked a goal from there.
Simmons, right half back. Oh, it's a terrible kick. Absolutely terrible. Straight into the arms of Archer, as if he picked him out. If it hadn't been Archer, it would have been Pickett, who was standing just behind him. Brady Anderson. Carey leading Jakovich to the ball. He's got Scott on offer, goes the other way, backs his judgment. Carey takes on his long-time adversary, goes at goal. Is that his third? Great play from Carey. Absolutely magnificent. Play of the day.
If ever you want to assert your authority on the game, that's the way to do it. Initially, the kick, as you said, Pete, being held up by Archer across half back in front of us. They square the ball across the ground. The kick by Anderson didn't find him on the full, but look at this. He just says, I'm going to take you on, Glenn Jakovich. You haven't got that post to pick me up. But not only to do that, then to kick the goal at the same time. That's why he is the best player going around.
He had a look at his opponent. I sort of got the feeling there, Ross, as he kicked his third goal, that not only did he kick it, he made a statement as well.
Exactly.
So North in full flight early in the second quarter. Chance for Roberts. Quick kick by the refrigerator up towards Scholl. Played just about anywhere as well. And guess who he's found? Carey again getting right on top of Glenn Jakovich in the second quarter.
Just needs to settle here too, Pete. He probably could make the distance from here. No one will provide the opportunity.
Kicked a spiral punt before, which travelled about 55 metres. He's going for his fourth. As I mentioned, he gave Rock a goal with a beautiful hand pass in the first quarter.
And I just wonder, Peter and Ross, whether or not the name Ashley McIntosh would be being uttered in the West Coast Eagles box.
He'll certainly have the pace, he has the strength, and they could use Jakovich elsewhere. It's not time to take him off at all by any means, but perhaps a look at where their positioning is at the moment.
Distance may test him. Lane. It's coming around, but a little bit too much, like a drawn one iron in golf, and out of bounds on the full. So the crowd cheers that. And Ashley McIntosh, whom we were mentioning as a possible opponent, if Carey, whom he does get right on top of Jakovich, will kick him.
Well, they've got plenty of people they can swap around. You can put Jakovich forward, throw ball into the ruck full time where he's played his best football. He's not quite getting into the game. He's keeping McKernan out a little bit, but he's not providing them with anything at all. So it's a bit of a neutral situation.
Hewitt, Waterman. Hewitt's got it. Kicks across his body and kicks well. Abraham crumbs it beautifully. Snaps, and that's not bad. Wait on the goal umpire on this one. I think it's there. It is.
Well, it's been a good 5 minutes for North Melbourne. They really have won the football as Glenn Jakovich has taken from the ground. Nick Stone about to come on, so we'll have a look at a new opponent for Wayne Carey. We'll pick that up for you shortly. But they've just really utilised their forward structure so well. They've been concentrating on this style of play for just about the entire part of the season, and Wayne Carey one out against anybody would be tough in the forward 50.
Well, you guys should be coaches. Guess who's gone on to Carey?
Yes, and Nick Stone's gone then to full back, but I don't think they should take Jakovic off the ground. I mean, they've pigeonholed him as only being able to play on one person in one position on the ground.
Let's see if he comes back though quickly. Pike, speaking of quick boot to ball, and McIntosh makes a statement already, taking the mark over Carey. On to Josh Wooden. Wooden from right half back. Lovely ball, can't get around Scholl though. It won't come unstuck because Stone's got it, the man that came on to replace Jakovic. King. Well, it may bounce, it is bouncing, it won't bounce through for a goal though. McKenna.
Great work there by McIntosh to run back, because it looked like the ball was going to go through, but you've got to chase it across the boundary line. He went back, and now they've got the ball up at midfield.
McIntosh to Reid, Banfield, a couple of fumbles there. Banfield may be able to make amends, pressured by Anderson. He's taken the ball over the line, throw in centre wing Anderson. Just halfway through the second quarter, let's go down to Barra.
But just in the Eagles' defence, this breeze has freshens to the left of screen. It is obviously going across the ground, so you saw Wayne Carey kick before, and it just hooked to the left, and I think we're going to get a bit of rain as well.
I think he had a bit too much bottom hand on it.
The North's going to come out of defence well, they do, through Pickett. It is a good long ball, just backing up what Barra said about the wind. Morrison, after McIntosh missed the mark. Wooden paddles it towards McIntosh, who provides a shepherd for Waterman. He was a little bit too late on the scene though. He goes again. Now McKenna around Scholl, back to Waterman, back to McIntosh, who's already got 3 or 4 possessions on Carey. So perhaps good move even in the early stages. Pike tries to punch, didn't really clear the area. Past Cousins, chance for Pike again. Stone blocks his path. Simmons, a juggle, needs to be quick, and is. Simmons kicks just over the centre circle. White. Oh, they're making a move of this, the Eagles. Simmons applies a tackle, looks for holding the ball. There is none there. White again, might have been taken high. Roberts puts his body on the line, charges through the pack, kicks up towards half forward. Abraham, Morrison, Cousins now has to break a tackle, does so, gets it back to Wooden.
Advantage played too, Pete.
Josh Wooden, long bomb, looks for Gehrig. Martin wearing him like a glove. Gehrig breaks clear and kicks a goal. Great play. 3 to him. Well, that was really hard earned, wasn't it?
Yes, and he's the only player when they've gone forward who's looked like breaking it up from his kick 3, as Pete said, 2 in this quarter. The opportunities have been few and far between. They really fiddle with the ball going through the middle there. Players fumbling, not controlling it. In the end, it goes in their area. Brett Heady's been taken from the ground. John Worsfold onto a half-forward flank. It looks as if here, Glenn Archer is saying to Mickey Martin, where were you?
Fraser Gehrig joining Wayne Carey as the leading goal kicker in the match with 3. And the Eagles come back, but they still trail by 7 points.
And North have allowed Carey to go to pretty well full forward too, Pete, where he's probably going to be better suited than playing right down the ground.
Stevens kicks to half forward, only to see McKenna in the road. Stone, back to McKenna, needs to be neat with the ball, beats 2 of them. Back to Stone, over the head of Scott. Wooden again. Oh, courage by Archer, and gets taken out. Nothing for it from the umpire. Stevens, well, not a Skerrick. Archer still on the ground. He's tough. Let's look at it again.
Well, 1 went for the footy.
Cool. Well, they're both tough. Stevens kicks up towards centre field. Peter Matera. Lovely ball skills. Kicks towards right half forward. Great vision. Worsfold has taken the mark.
Well, the Eagles have lifted. They've got the crowd behind them. It's a critical time in the match for both teams.
Pike couldn't clear Peter Matera. I think it's out of bounds.
Yeah, fortunately for North, but certainly your West Coast looking dangerous. Then Worsfold providing something for them. The inspiration of David King just saying a few words to him as Craig Scholl gets taken off Barra.
If this stadium had a roof, it would have lifted off. The place is going crazy down here. Worsfold has stormed onto the ground. He is that pumped up, giving him that physical contest they need in the forward line.
And Glenn Archer's just penciled something in though.
Yeah, he's moving all right at the moment, or he's just a bit
Well, he'll be a little sore for a while, but he's tough. Peter Matera's kick out of bounds on the 4. Mickey Martin. Gehrig on the mark. Gehrig's kicked 3 goals. It's pretty close to Gehrig too when he kicked McKernan's the target in front. Can't complete the mark. Good block by Stone. Chance for Bell. Bounce, will it be Fickle at centre wing? Wooden. Taps for the boundary line. That'll do.
Roscoe, in your memory, players running the same way as the flight of the football. You can think of, I guess, Ken Hunter, Gavin Brown are 2 that come to mind. But
Keith Greg, one step. Yeah, exactly. Magro and someone else.
Cheselenko.
Yes.
there's not too many more courageous than Glenn Archer.
Stevens started to gather a few possessions in the second quarter.
Chandler on, Bell off.
Yep.
Carey in front of McIntosh. First time he's beaten McIntosh. Oh, smothered by Matera, but Carey had played on, hadn't he?
He'd gone around the corner, so he had been called play on. Bit tight, Jared, do you think?
Well, she was pretty tight, but it was probably technically spot on.
Yeah, well, he went that way, so it wasn't Matera's fault. He was in the area.
Boundary throw it right in front of us. Crowd getting right into this match now. Simpson's kick inside 50. Scott, snap it, full pace. Oh, he's bent that back beautifully. What a goal! Great kick.
And not only that, was it a great kick, but a great shepherd by Carey to allow the traffic to come past him. He kept McIntosh out of the way.
That's actually one of his major roles now in this forward setup, is it? Just clearing the space for other players to run into the footy. Let's have another look at it. There he is. He's keeping McIntosh out. At the other end of the ground, the reason, and it was an unusual mistake by Mickey Martin, the reason Gehrig got that was because he allowed him to cross sides and get onto his left foot.
Which is what Glenn Archer just had a word to him about. He said, goodness sake, mate, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Difference out to 13 points now. Late in the second quarter here at Subiaco.
And the loss of Kemp is really starting to tell us.
Just wondering if Adrian gives an update on at all on Dean Kemp. Barrett, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you, mate. He's just sitting there, not looking very happy at all. So I'd say that they'll go back in at half-time and check out his shoulder, maybe a jab, and just see perhaps if they can bring him back for what's a blockbuster game.
McKernan's kick marked by Crocker. Carey in front, nearly brought that one down as well. Simmons could have nearly given away a free. Banfield off the ground. Bad play, out of bounds on the full. And Anthony Rock should be the one to take the free kick. He was nearest. Rock's already kicked a goal in the first quarter as a result of a very deft hand pass from Wayne Carey. Pretty acute angle in the left forward pocket. Not impossible.
Just looking at Rock plays on, Pete.
Plays on, won't be a score. Morrison in front, Crocker behind. Loves that situation. One rush behind is the result.
Just looking at the stats for the viewers there. North have now held, brought themselves level with West Coast on kicks, 81 each. Handballs West Coast 52 to 29, but North are had the least number of handballs in the competition. They are the most direct side with their kicks, so that would be expected.
Morrison, McKernan brought that one from the 2 bob seats. Pickett could score from there, 48 metres out. That's missed to the right-hand side and brings up just one flag.
Well, the West Coast have got to come up with a midfielder who can create. They are really missing the creativity of Dean Kemp, and we see that Brett Heady is warming up on the boundary line, and I guess you would never forget, Ross, the performance in the middle in that grand final.
Exactly. I mean, he's a player who could do that. I'm just not sure that he's got the gas to go for the whole time, but he can give you something for 10 or 15, no question.
King, clear of Banfield, brushes in at full steam, kicks down to a contest. Well, there was no contest. Carey read it best in front of McIntosh. The kick really did drop short, and Carey was standing in front for the mark.
Well, that's the pertinent thing, I think, too, Jared, isn't it? The kick after the tackle by Banfield was a quick kick, which did drop quickly, and Carey was...
Well, he read it best,
front.
He just
well, if you're in front, you're always a chance.
For goal number 4, which he gets.
And it's been such a big quarter, too, for Wayne Carey. 4 goals in this quarter. It's set the tone, and I think the one he kicked out in the outer side, Peter, you mentioned, was he just trying to make his point, and he certainly made that. He cleared away from the point jacket, kicks that one from their Sumich pocket, and has certainly set his stamp on the game so far and slipped at his teammates as well. And I think also the fact that Archer's up and going and looking okay with the break coming up will also be a lift for his teammates.
The King reigns. Wayne Carey with 4 goals in the quarter takes the margin out to 21 points. Cousins only to see Martin in the road. around White. Good long kick by Mickey Martin. Crocker, the veteran.
One out in the 50 is Wayne Carey.
Leads out, can't take the mark.
You saw there that McIntosh had the pace to be
At
able
the
to
closing
keep
speed, that's what made the difference.
Eagles with the numbers in defence. Peter Matera to Heady, who's just come back on, kicks over the head of Crocker. It's okay. Johnny Worsfold being booed by the few North Melbourne supporters that are here. Peter Matera took out Glenn Archer. That's the reason if you've just joined us. Cousins to centre wing. No, couldn't take it. Phil Matera. Good tackle by Rock. Matera gets a second chance. Good hand pass. Banfield. Martin again punches. That's been his ploy pretty well right from the first siren. Pike goes off the ground. Roberts is there. Can't take it. Oh, gee, attempted trip. Not seen by the umpire. Stone to Simmons.
Free kick coming back quick.
play to Blakey.
Is it to Blakey? Yep.
Blakey was upended behind play. I think there will be a free kick going back towards North Melbourne. And it's always taken where the ball is at that stage if it is closer to the goal.
So that's what's happening.
Oh, well, you saw that. No need for me to comment on it.
Yeah, just past that. We didn't see the free kick to Blakey. It was after that event he was tossed out of it. Yep.
We didn't see that one, and the umpires didn't see
the
that
other one. That's right.
Sure enough. Roberts kicks to centre wing. Well, we've seen some big note. McKernan's kick.
Fortuitous.
Yes. Winston Abraham. Carey and McIntosh. Well, fumble by Morrison, gets ridden into the ground. Umpire lets it go. Not this time. It is going to be a free kick. Morrison will take it at centre half back.
Not on the mark if he wants to play on.
He wouldn't. Out to Cousins.
They're just starting to come into the game now, Ben Cousins, and he's probably the one with the talent that can replace
Kemp,
the man that has left the ground, Dean Kemp.
Somebody's got to stand up, Jared. Well, that was too easy from Stevens. Carey again, over the shoulder, perhaps against McIntosh.
Good
Time
second
lets it
effort,
go.
great recovery.
It was. He's working hard down there. So too is Wooden. Still just a youngster. Stone gets a very fickle bounce. He's opposite number 22. Roberts is bearing down on Waterman. Ball jarred free, and that tackle came out of the arms of Scott. Anderson attempted block, unsuccessful. McKenna fires out a 20-metre hand pass to Banfield. Clear of Martin. Kicks towards Mitchell Wright, who takes the mark in front of Archer. Too far out to score. They need a mark across half forward. Cousins, well, stepping up a cog, Jared.
Yeah, he's a brilliant young player, Ben Cousins, and it looked like at the start of the season Mick Malthouse took the shackles off him and said to him, well, you are going to become a midfielder, now's the time to do it. Well, it's in these sorts of games that he'll make his name as a top-line midfielder, and if he can pull his side back into the contest, then he's going a long way to really earning his reputation, not just as a sharpshooter up forward, but as a gun in the middle.
Now, if there's any delay here, it will be because of McKenna coming off with the blood rule. Coming back on is Braun.
So 10 handballs guy, McKenna. He's only had the 2 kicks. Whilst he's had a stack of possessions, when the majority of them are handballs, I guess it doesn't make the same impact.
They're not quite as damaging because he is as creative as a player there's been coming across half-back, but hasn't been able to set that up as much as he has in previous as he hit today with that number of touches.
He must kick this goal. 35 out. I think he's missed.
Yeah.
Very costly miss just before half-time.
It was a similar setup to the way they got that ball into Cousins as North have done, although there was a few more players inside that 50 area. Cousins was the player to stream down from the middle of the ground into the space, and White, a clever kick, found him.
King to bring it back in.
I think at the other end of the ground, there was a kick from Anthony Stevens to one-out duel to Wayne Carey and McIntosh, and I reckon Dennis Pay are going to be just wanting their kicks to advantage their forwards.
Fused it from behind. Gehrig missed it. Phil Matera. Worsfold.
Good kick.
That is a good kick. Banfield.
Hit the left footer as well, so with just a couple of seconds of play remaining, or just over a minute, And better off going back and having a genuine shot at goal.
Yes, he's the favourite on that side. Just the 4 goals so far this year for Banfield.
Distance won't be a problem for him. It's not a deep pocket from where he is. But he's gone. Oh, terrible kick. Giving it away to John Blakey.
Well, Mitchell White was clear by about 20 metres at one stage there. Banfield saw him, hesitated, then kicked, and kicked off a step, missed him.
The hesitation proved costly. Simpson tries to get it out from under. Wooden does so eventually. Good tackle by Chandler. Ball out towards centre wing and Phil Matera once more. Back to Braun. Braun kicks up to half forward. Another turnover. Martin Pike.
So I think the pressure of this half is really starting to tell on both sides. It looks like North Melbourne are just hanging in there trying to wait for the bell. The Eagles still a chance to kick a goal.
Kenner back onto the ground. Don't do much with that. Oh, he gets up sore as well. That doesn't look good. Barrow on the boundary.
Yeah, that's happened right in front of me. It's his ankle. Guy McKenna just went back on after a blood nose. It's like a revolving door down here in the interchange. Anthony Rock got poleaxed. He's come off as well.
Crocker. Abraham and McKernan for North Melbourne. Chief most likely to bring it down. Kick away for North by Robert Scott. Doesn't find its mark. And North, they will go to the half-time break with a handy lead. 20 points, 9-8 to 6-6. 6-goal quarter by North Melbourne, so I don't think Mick Malthouse would be particularly happy. We spoke about Kemp going off the ground, and it looked a bad one at the time, and certainly proved that way.
I think that's what hurt them the most, Jared, is the fact that he's gone off. And he's such a creative player, and he takes a quality player from the opposition, whether it be Pike or Stevens. Then the next line of players have to step up, and they haven't quite found that yet. Or Cousins in that last perhaps 5 or 10 minutes found something.
Can West Coast come back from a 20-point deficit? McKernan in the ruck, beats ball to it, but can't clear the zone. It's Matera from Wooden. Peter Matera's kick. Now towards left centre wing. Mitchell White. Well, Mark all free kick.
Yes, they've left Fraser Gehrig one out against Mickey Martin, which is where this ball's heading.
Gehrig on the lead. Doesn't quite get there. Blakey nearly got a fingernail to it. Back to Gehrig. Tempted smother by Scott. Unsuccessful.
Lashing McIntosh is the key in defence, but at 20 points down now, the Eagles have got to think not about defensive stuff. They've got to start thinking about kicking multitudes of goals. And I reckon Mitchell White and Peter Matera, Ross, are the guys that need to really have a big influence in the second half.
So move Matera off the wing and push him forward, Jerry, is that what you're saying?
I think so, and his form against Essendon a month ago when he kicked his 7 indicates that he can do that match-winning performance in front of the sticks.
Stevens, Pike, Abraham and Carey combining as North Melbourne move it from the back pocket down towards centre half forward. They may move it a little bit further, but Peter Matera stands his ground well, bombs it long. Pickett.
Stevens inside there, Pete.
He has on his own. I was the only man near him. He too kicks long down towards where Crocker appeared to be held. Reed, well, goes for the boundary line, and well, he finds it. Not how he intended.
Yeah, sometimes in that situation, without being hard on the young fella, you've got to come down the line a bit and kick the ball firmly along the ground.
Peter Bell. Carey and McIntosh duel. Morrison doesn't get a good bounce. Rock does well. Can he bend it back through for a goal? Oh, that is sensational. As good as Kings. You're having a bad day when your opposition does that.
Yes, well, that's his second, Pete, and he's a player who's had to step up. He's been out of sorts for some time, and there's no question that the asset would have been put on Anthony Rock. He's an experienced player. We see Crocker and Morrison overrunning it, and then Rock's found a bit there. McKenna tried to knock the ball over the line, just tried to dive on it, lost his footing, and then Rock just with the presence of mind to steady. He thought, well, I've got no one else to give to, and I'll just have a ping. Good kick.
Just the goal that Dennis Pagan would have ordered at half-time, but it's time for the West Coast Eagles to stand up and be counted now because the differences are getting rather large. Pike puts the Roos into attack again, not for very long. King didn't get a good bounce. Shuffled out the back of the pack. Morrison off the ground. Only travels about 35 metres. White tackled. Archer goes through solidly. Copped a hard one in the first half, but he seems to be okay. Bell gives it back to Pike again. Recognisable from when he played at Fitzroy. He certainly has found something.
Call play on touch.
Yes, it is. Peter Matera has to do just that. Good enough to try to get to Morrison. Oh, he runs at the ball. Slapped out to King. King goes goalward. Touched by McIntosh. They might get another dip at it here. Abraham, 2 metres out, kicks the goal. Now it's going to be hard, too.
Well, it was a bit of bad luck there initially for the West Coast because Peter Matera had affected the mark and he went back. He didn't know that he was under the pressure of the umpire screaming play on. And when he came to that recognition, he was just about swamped by players. His handball wasn't a great one. But North Melbourne, that loose ball situation, they have just bustled the ball, hustled the ball forward. They've always had numbers running at the footy, and here we've got 3 North fellows raffling it. And the mighty winner was Winston.
8 goals to 2 since quarter time. North Melbourne now well on top. The difference out to 5 goals 2. Now the umpire waiting for Trainer to come off the ground. What's happening? Oh, he's right. McCurtain at ball. Again, North Melbourne winning it decisively out of the centre. High kick, well inside 50. McIntosh, Peter Matera. Up and under kick, Eddie kept underneath it, Bell, they come from all directions, Archer is up high, good tackle by Reid, that's just about holding the footy, but Pike not penalised, it will be thrown in the middle of the interchange gates.
Just the comment I made at half-time, Pete, when I said an indictment on the coaching structure, what I'm saying is if you're prepared to pay a player like Jakovic that sort of money and have rated him your best player, why is he on the bench when he could be doing something at centre-half forward? Because if you're going to play Brendan Fuster there, surely Jakovic is just as good an option down there.
Fair court, Cousins to Fuster, unless he's injured, one we don't know about.
Well, it just looks as if they really have categorised him as a one-dimension player, and that's it.
Too easy for North Melbourne. Numbers everywhere. Blakey kicks out towards centre wing. Abraham from Wooden. Back to King. Kicked a sensational goal in the first quarter. He's also been kicking out at full-back. Shannon Grant knocks Wayne Carey over. 1 demerit point at least. So throw in, centre wing out of side. The 2 number 22s, Roberts and Stone. Over the top is Simpson. Stevens off a step. Real up and under kick. Morrison tries to nudge the ball to the front of the pack. Succeeds in doing that, only gets it as far as Peter Bell. McCurtain kicks into the man in the front of him. North Melbourne players everywhere. Scott's kick. The Rock's kick, rather. Now Crocker. Oh, McIntosh, great mark. One-handed beats Carey.
He's once you play on.
He's played on behind the line, didn't he?
That's a point.
That's interesting.
Exactly, that's what Carey's asking for, and he's quite right because he dropped the ball, and that's a point.
That's quite an extraordinary circumstance, Ross. I'm not sure about that one. He went to kick the ball,
Put it on the ground. It's okay if you play on, but the ball touched the ground, so that's what I'm hearing, that's all.
Yep, I agree with you.
Back line, it's Waterman. Gets the hand pass away. Cousins, Simmons. Oh, great interception from Stevens. North Melbourne getting well on top. Stevens kick to a contest. McIntosh, a little nudge on Carey. McIntosh clear, goes for the boundary line and finds it. Reid tried to do the same thing moments back, but that was a much better educated kick.
It was clever play by McIntosh, as I say.
No options.
Oh, no options, and the inside-out tour was a beauty.
Rumour bang.
Throw in on 50. Stone, a little give to Cousins.
He's the man that really does have to spark now. He's got the ability, he's got the ingenuity, he's got the skill to finish.
Good chase by Rock, couldn't get him. Archer will get back. The Rock. Poleaxe in the first half, but he's bounced back pretty well. Martin to Hewitt. Hewitt defensively to the outer side. Guy McKenna and Rock. Bounces better for McKenna. Put the field of Dodworth in the second quarter. Cousins. Heady from 35 metres. They need a goal here, the Eagles. Luck is not on their side and hit the post.
Yeah, you're right, but that's exactly the one that they wanted, the one that come through there from Heady. They set it up well, created, just allowed McKenna to set that up with Cousins. As Jura said, Cousins is a lot of pressure on him, but he's the one that has the quality to shine through.
31 points the margin. Victorious for King to kick in again. I think he and Shannon Grant are the only 2 players who have kicked in today, the North. Certainly they've been the major ones. He's pressured here. That's going close to out of bounds and does cross the line on the full. One of the few errors that they have made in defence today. Philip Matera with the resultant free kick. Kicks to the head of the square. Heady Couldn't get there, but his teammate did, and that's Gehrig.
He's just got long arms, Fraser Gehrig, Ross.
And he's been very confident and prepared to play from behind. Martin not in the front position, but Gehrig's confident with his reading of the flight of the footy. And he does, once he gets his hand on him, he hasn't dropped too many this year.
The leading goal kicker today. Only 3 players for the Eagles have kicked goals. Gehrig has got 3, Reid 2, Jason Boyle 1. Another miss.
Well, that end of the ground, that's where the breeze is pushing the ball from right to left. We saw Carey's couple of kicks of goal went very much to the left-hand side. The left footer kicking from where Gehrig almost had to aim towards the right-hand goal post to make sure the ball went through, but that's an untidy miss.
5 even goals, the difference.
David King just beckoning his players to go to that defensive side of the ground.
Gehrig himself goes defensively. Still the Eagles with just 2 goals since quarter time.
Ross, take us through this exceptional set of circumstances.
Okay, Carey's standing on the mark now. He goes to go over the top. The ball hits the deck and he plays on, but the ball's, in my view, out of play then. Okay? If he had kept control of the ball, as we see a shot at goal by Cousins, that's what they want, Peter.
Great kick for goal, 4 points. Well, after 2 shots that could have been goals, arguably should have, finally Cousins converts to get the difference back to 4 goals. Boy, did they need that one.
What's interesting, we've got the umpires sitting next to us. Apparently the ball has to come back into play first before looking at the McIntosh situation. It's got to come back into play before decision can be made. So, fair call. Good goal there by Cousins, the one they wanted.
Then Cousins has 1 goal too, the difference back to 24 points. Only 3 goals though from the Eagles since quarter time. Got to be much closer by the final change. Good tackle by Reid. The ball up's going to follow. Just further to that, McIntosh coming back into play. The ball has to actually be in play.
It's got to come into play, correct.
And it didn't.
So you've been doing a bit of research, Ross, in the break.
Thanks to the boys next door.
So a bounce. It's part of the circle. McKernan. Simmons, Abraham. Courage needed here. Mitchell wide. Stevens. Morrison. Over the top, looping hand pass. Waterman looking for a free kick. Claiming he was being held. Just in front of what's going on down there, Barra.
Pete, this might illuminate things a bit more. Apparently Glenn Jakovich does have a foot injury and it was retarding him in that second quarter, but he did go into the game saying he was fit, but has a foot injury and getting treatment on it right at this moment, actually.
Okay, thanks for that, Adrian. By Reid comes down to Brett Heady, beautifully keeps it in play. Centering kick from him, they need somebody to take a mark. Philip Matera, rounds on, lovely smother by Scott. Backs up well. He'll be content to see the ball over the boundary line.
Well, it's just copybook defensive work there by Robert Scott. Phil Matera, he just about set him up for the balk. He could have, he sold the dummy, maybe have been better off trying to come inside, but Scott had the hands in front of the ball and it was just classic footy.
There he is again. Peter Matera now from King. Has he kept it in play? He has, but only to see Rock take the mark. Good to see him coming back into a little bit of form. Frustrating. Pushing and shoving on centre wing. Opens it up for Banfield.
Peter, the Eagles look like they're just starting to muster their forces again, but they've got to convert their chances.
McKenna has it punched away from his hands by Rock.
It's an important stage for them to get back into this game and get back within touch. They're 24 points down. They can muster a couple of goals. This time of the game has been very important for them.
Ball in McKernan. Banfield. Looks for Simmons. Finds him. One-on-one contest. Martin punches to the front as he has done all day. Reid tries to take out Bell. Ball's out as well. Throw in 40 metres from goal. 24 points to the margin as we approach the halfway mark of the third quarter. Eddie wrapped up by Simpson. And another ball up. You think if the Eagles can be within about a goal with 3/4 time, they may have a chance. Pickett. As if he hit it with a fence picket about 25 metres further downfield. But that is as far as it's going. Ball up. And 30 players around the
Yep, I
ball.
was about to say that, but the rest are not that far away either.
Scott kicks to Crocker. He looked as though he was being held. The umpire says no. Morrison. Heady tried to take the big specky from behind. Bell tries to flip it to the front of the pack, succeeds ultimately. Harvey went in solidly. Waterman, and he runs into his own teammate there, and Cousins brushes a tackle. Brilliantly done by the youngster. His kick to the front of the pack. Gearing from behind, trying to take the specky as well. Pickett and pass. Ultimately to McKernan. He's running into some form too, and that's a good sign for North Melbourne coming up to the finals. Shannon Grant went up one-handed as he backed into the pack. Abraham has a look. Catch me if you can. A real runner. He is gone. That's holding the footy. Great tackle.
As we've seen that before with Josh Wood, he's deceptively quick. He's chased players down from behind. It's a great chase.
Peter Matera makes a lead close to the boundary line. Josh Wood
Touched.
Yeah, was touched. Could have done better with the kick. Snaffled again by North Melbourne. Ball jarred free, comes to Harvey. Harvey's kick back in the same area. Wooden goes for the boundary line. Winston Abraham has kept it in play, I think. Has he? Yes, Wooden. Back to Peter Matera. Again, Harvey gives chase. Peter Matera's kick to centre wing. This will be marked by Corey McKernan. His name written all over it.
10 possessions down to Corey, and whilst he hasn't been absolutely dominating, it's just been another solid contribution. That's 2 in a row for him now, with a pretty good performance against Kilda a couple of weeks ago, but still plenty of play left in this game that he needs to contribute.
Stevens to Harvey. McIntosh over the top of Keary. They love that. Brady Anderson, Sandover medalist. Long right foot snap. Oh, he might have kicked this one. Has he? No, touch right on the line. Great effort by Peter Matera.
Yes, he could have handballed through to Kerry, or he had David King at the top of the square, probably about 10 metres in front of the square. In fact, he could have pushed the ball towards, but when he looked forward, the square was open. Just an extra bit of carrying the ball, it would have been a goal. Well done by Matera to get back though.
Gee, just. Crocker in front. Anderson might have given away a free kick for a high tackle. Ball should be the recipient, and is at right half back. Stone, right centre wing.
Josh Wood coming off, he's hobbling. He'll be replaced by Michael Braun.
Well, they've got a few injury problems then, if that's the case.
He's done a hamstring, I think, in that chase.
Archer,
Not supposed to run that fast.
It's a good chase.
the Iron Man. Stone in front, McKenna behind. And that takes the grab. So it's the walking wounded on the Eagles bench, if that's the case. Morrison, we wonder how bad the injury is to Djakovic, because surely he'd be back on. Braun gives chase. Shepherd by Worsfold. Simmons tried to take it one-handed. North with numbers. Harvey. Oh, what a steal from Brett Henny, and he's kicked a goal. That may lift the flagging Eagles' spirits at the moment.
Well, it's a fantastic interception, there's no doubt about that, but you know, that's one interception of a number of handballs, hundreds of handballs that North Melbourne implement across this back line, with one player sitting off, and it works so many times for them that they would just anticipate that there will be the odd interception. Take nothing away from Brett Henny, could be an important goal in the final result, but you've still got to keep poking him out from packs.
Certainly not pretty, but the Eagles clawing their way back. North Melbourne at the start of this quarter looked as though they were going to run away with it. They may still do. It's never easy to win over here. A throw, according to the umpire. West Coast Eagles free kick. Peter Matera is going to be the recipient.
Against Craig Scholl, they tried to dish the ball out quickly, and literally did that. Did dish it, didn't handball it.
And Matera looking for something on offer. Statuesque across half forward.
Mitchell White and Fuster are very short, but no one else to kick to. He's going to go for Heady, perhaps long, or now he's going for Gehrig.
Gehrig outnumbered and out-bustled. Martin at the back. It's a good block by Cousins then, but Blakey takes it well, only to see Rock on the end of it in front of McKenna.
But just to further my argument with Glenn Djakovic, if he's got a crook foot, well and good, but they're looking for a centre half forward at the moment. He's a bloke they could use.
Pushed by McKenna, but the umpire says the mark was okay. Bell and Braun. Braun looking for the free kick. Archer. He'll use Bell, will he? No, he goes a little bit further to Anderson. He comes back to Bell. Centering kick. King is there, and Mark, strong grab.
That's great vision by Bell too, because King was behind him calling for the ball, and Bell was looking forward to the square. But if team rules are there, and they are with North Melbourne, you play within the corridor, you don't go wide. If you are outside the corridor, you've got to bring it back inside. That's what he did.
Kicked the first 8 points of North Melbourne score today, a couple of behinds, and then that miracle goal. I call it a miracle goal, a great soccer effort. He's got a chance for his second now. That's Fraser Gehrig, is it? Yes. Gee, maybe just cramp.
Well, he's definitely had a lot of troubles with shin splints, but they do look as if he's stretching out his calf muscles at the present time, and they can ill afford to lose him with another soft tissue strain.
David King for his second, right on 50. And he's missed to the far side, I believe. So 1-3 to the former Port boy. 11-10, 8-8. Margin back to 20 points. McIntosh. Ball in front of King. Archer will punch from behind. Braun. Mitchell White turns into trouble. Reed Stevens. And the ball up on centre wing. Well, 5.5 minutes left in the quarter. A couple of goals by the Eagles would set it up for a thrilling finish.
The problem there with Fraser Gehrig too, Pete, if he is suffering a bit from a calf problem or even cramping, then full forward his position. They probably need him to dominate more at centre half so they can get some structure around there.
Archer. Ball. Braun. Simmons. Yes, he's got it. Good diving mark. They're getting plenty of advice from the crowd because Stone is on his own. He's made a lead on centre wing. He's finally gone in that direction, but Banfield chips in front of his teammate to take the mark. Now he's got Morrison at midfield. He's going to go more direct than that. Pickett took off before nominations and then opens it up for Heady. We just need too many opportunities to cut you to pieces. Down in the tackle. That's almost holding the footy. It is.
I think Heady's looking for a triple Z injured. He's done something.
Well, Norfolk playing on anyway. He's been given the call to play on Pickett. He stood there like a statue. Braun had a kick in the meantime, which has hit the behind post. So that was a comedy of errors, the whole play.
Yep, and there's another injured Eagle. It looks like Brett Heady. I'm not sure if he's copped one in the head.
I think he might have got a kick in the head in that contest. Accidental. Let's just see what did happen here.
It was the first contact from Peter Bell, I think, that caused the problem.
King. Jeez. Covered some miles today. Sorry, kilometres. But plenty of those as well. That is a great mark. Waterman.
It's his first kick.
I find that surprising, but I won't argue with you. King, he said more than that. Up and under job. McKernan caught underneath it. Reed brushes one tackle. That was from McKernan. Goes at goal. They need this. The Eagles have got it. It's through. Well, the youngsters stepping up and being counted at the moment for West Coast.
Yeah, that's his third, Pete. He's been effective too in that first quarter and just running through the centre. That's the pace and ability he does have. Just intercepting there, Martin Pike couldn't get a hand on them. McKernan just couldn't retard him at all. And then a very direct and correct kick as Peter Bell's coming from the ground. And certainly the lifter they're looking for, having got one previously from Cousins.
Well, the youngsters, Reed and Cousins, leading the way here for the West Coast Eagles as they fight their way back into this match with under 4 minutes remaining to three-quarter time. Now Roberts has come back on. Was that via the blood rule?
Replace Peter Bell with the blood rule. So Morrison will come across. No, Stone will take Roberts and Morrison will pick up Scholl.
Waterman into the middle, Ross.
Well, he's a player who's been a very good player all season for them, so he was the other one that they can use in that role.
North, work it forward. Again, not pretty but effective. Morrison from centre half back. Kicks to a contest on centre wing, North with the numbers. Abraham intended for Pickett, who gets the better bounce, tries to take Reid out of the contest, takes the ball out instead. That's out of bounds, centre wing. And right where that is, Barrett.
Pete, it feels like they're going down like 9 pins here. There's about 85 injuries. Peter Bell's come off with a profusely bleeding nose. It's just bad. Gehrig had cramp, he's okay now. Wooden has done a hammy and he won't be coming back, and Kemp's gone as well. Jakovic is okay, but they won't risk him unless it gets really bad.
Well, Wayne Carey in the meantime, after being held, takes a strong mark. Probably would have got a free kick anyway, do you reckon?
Well, that's the mark of a champion, to take a mark under that situation of pressure. A high kick coming, you've got McIntosh behind doing everything right, defending, hustling, bustling, trying to push him under the footy, just holds his ground and controls the footy.
Kicked 4 goals in the second quarter. McIntosh really has given him a pretty solid workout. Carey for number 5 and a steadier for North Melbourne. Gee, it came back, but not enough. So he's first behind Wayne Carey, 4 goals, 1. 13 points is the margin. This is going to go right down to the wire, this match. Morrison marks the Peter Matera kick in. He'll bring it to centre wing, but that's as far as it's going. That is a terrible kick.
Well, twofold, Pete. Untidy defensive work from North to allow the player like Morrison to get free, but then the kick, having done all the work, received the kick, you put it straight back into the opposition's hands.
Pickett to Scott, to a marking contest short of half forward. Scholl paddles it out for a rock, in turn to King, tries to get around Braun, does so. Back to Roberts. The refrigerator looking for Carey. McIntosh is in the road, and you couldn't be penalised for that. Although Carey probably did ask a half-hearted question.
He had to be penalised, surely, Pete. What do you think, Ross?
Well, he went straight for the boundary.
He disguised it very well.
Yeah, it's baffling.
Stone over the top. Rock. Simmons, was he held by Harvey? No. Out of bounds. It's going to be the survival of the fittest, really, isn't it, down there today?
It'd be a monumental victory if the Eagles could come out of this one with 4 points. With their injury problems, the fact that North Melbourne have had the momentum for the best part of the last 2 quarters, it would be some sort of turnaround in Roscoe if they could pull a victory here.
And no doubt we'll get a call for 6 in the chain players again.
Simpson puts it into the square. Ball nearly. Chandler goes off the ground. Oh, was it touched? No. No goal.
That was interesting because Chandler kicked the ball up and it hit Martin Pike in the back, but he might have been across the line. But they really do rush you when you get in that situation. Again, they've got a player free in ball. He's going to find him Matera, and he'll get Simmons over the top.
Over the top of McKernan. Simmons, short of half back. Last minute and a half of the third quarter. Reid, as I said, the youngsters, Reid and Cousins, have given the Eagles a chance here in this match. Worsfold, left centre wing. He doesn't know how much time is left, but he want to get it moving quickly.
Gehrig's in major trouble down at full forward. He can't run.
Yeah, and Fuster's not providing much for them either, so that's where they're breaking down.
I reckon Gehrig would have to come off the ground, and we might just go down to you, Barra, shortly to find out how Glenn Jakovic is, because there's no way known. Gehrig looks as if he can complete this match.
Well, he's wasted half a minute now. 2-on-2 contest. Oh, what a mark. Fuster. Well, he kicked a couple of useful goals in the semi-final against North Melbourne last year.
This will test him, Pete. He'll have to kick just a bit to the right of the goals. Let the breeze bring it back in.
It's a good kick. Well, it has brought it back in, but much too much, and one behind. Maybe the last score of the quarter. His first score of the day, a minor one.
Barra, is there any possible chance that Glenn Jakovic would be available to come back on?
I think he is. I think if it was a grand final, he'd certainly be out there, put it that way. And I would be surprised if he's not tried before the end of the game. Fraser Gehrig is on one leg, cramp in the calf and also up in the hip. I don't know how that happens, but not too good. He's on one leg.
Right, as I said, it's going to be a survival of the fittest. Barra, how many fit players have they got on the bench there? Back to Heady. Simmons.
Well, Wood's done a hamstring, Kemp's got a shoulder, and
Jakovic is questionable.
yes. So it leaves you with Daniel Metropolis, the other player.
Daniel Metropolis, yes, that's the other player who's available. Pressure could be on him. Mick Malthouse is down here now surveying the damage.
As John Blakey comes off for a breather, he's replaced by Peter Bell, who's had that nose fixed.
This will probably be the last kick of the quarter, and arguably it's the most important kick of the match to date. If Simmons can kick it, the Eagles will be in with a real chance come the last quarter. There's the siren, and it is just curving away at the last minute, and one behind. That would have been a real handy one.
Well, again, that's where the breeze has blown the ball, but you've got to kick it again. 3 or 4 times you've mentioned it, but they've had their shots at goal this quarter, Jared, haven't they? They had an opportunity to get very much within reach. I mean, they're still only 14 points behind, but the momentum swung their way, and they should have taken certainly full toll their opportunities up forward there.
Yeah, I think North Melbourne had a number of opportunities that quarter to really finish this match, but the Eagles hang in there, but it will take a supreme performance to get over the top of the Kangaroos.
Minus 14. It's the deficit facing West Coast at 3-quarter time. 78 plays 64. Back in the quarter. As I said, it is time for West Coast to stand up and be counted if they can in the final turn. McKernan, big punch away. Braun nearly had it. Quick kick out of the congestion there. Chance for Harvey and Cousins, who's got the better speed. He'll give it to Stone. Stone across his body. Kicks to a contest on centre wing. Sun in their eyes down there. Certainly proving a factor. Banfield from Blakey does well. Beautiful turn. And great vision. Worsfold taking the mark at half forward. Just couldn't turn around as quick as he would have liked there.
Fraser Gehrig can't run. He tried to make a lead there with pace, and he's just hobbling.
And that's bad news for West Coast. Now, a little bit of a hip out here. Let's see who's going to get it. It's a Shepherd. North Melbourne free kick, it looks like.
Yep.
Hewitt to Stevens. Stevens in the back pocket.
But I'm not sure, but maybe Adrian can clarify. But looking at the 3-quarter time huddle,
Yeah, now.
definitely Mick Malthouse talking to Glenn Jakovic, saying basically, look, we'd love to put you on, but obviously there's a problem. Is that right, Adrian?
You should be a lip reader, Ross. That's exactly what he said. I think it's a left calf actually now, so Jakovic out of the game, and I think there's a question mark over Metropolis too. So the Eagles basically are down to 17 and a half men with Gehrig on one leg.
Great tackle by Pike there on Reed, and that stopped him getting away. It's going to be a ball up on centre wing. First goal vital here in this final quarter. If the Eagles can get it, it would certainly lift, shall we say, their flagging spirits in terms of the injuries just mentioned. McKernan, big swing, missed it. On top of it again, so another bounce. There's the war zone. Jakovic, Metropolis. Gehrig on the ground, but having his problems. And a big bolo punch again by Corey McKernan. Pickett takes it down there from Chandler. Scholl, who kicked 5 goals the last time these two sides met in round 1 when North Melbourne won by 2 points. Morrison, a little give, back to Stone. Peter Matera on centre wing, Cousins running with him. Couple of bounces, confronted by Stevens. Oh, Cousins didn't get the bounce he wanted. It wasn't a great hand pass, but good pressuring by North, and they take it away again. Winston Abraham. Pike says go, and he does. What a revelation he's been this year. They kick up towards centre half forward. Eagles with the numbers. Simmons got a little bit of a push out. Eagles fans looking for a free kick. The umpire says no, boys, play on.
Got the spare man deep in attack too, North.
Harvey, this should be a goal to North Melbourne. Scholl, easy as you like, 5 metres out, kicks the first one of the final quarter.
Listen, again, we've mentioned a few times, and Jared said in the first quarter, that's the setup they like, to have everyone forward, then turn around, get possession between centre half forward and the edge of the centre square, get a long bomb in by about 40 metres, have someone running onto it who is free or certainly expose the opposition for pace. This time it's Scholl who is very much free. Morrison not a chance to run him down from there, and the goal results.
He almost just took the Chandler gamble, didn't he?
To take that weight, because if it had have gone the other way, Morrison was free and there's no one Scholl was going to catch him.
That could make it very difficult for West Coast. The difference back to 20 points, which is what it was at half-time. North Melbourne going with the aid of this slight breeze in the final quarter. McKernan, he's done well so far in this term. And North go into attack again, inside 50 once more. Carey, a little shuffle. Got a little shuffle behind from McIntosh, but it didn't matter. McIntosh still got the hand pass away to Braun. On centre wing, it's Heady. Terrible kick off the boot, intercepting as Archer, who was poleaxed in the second quarter. But as you would expect from him, got up. Glenn Archer, left half-back flank. Kicks to centre wing, Roberts.
It wasn't his intention, that's for
No.
sure. It was a real tumbler.
Had his own injury problems at the start of the year. Barely the required distance to Carey.
That's 9 marks.
Spiral punt kick.
I think that was a response to the jeering.
Yeah, he said, well,
Scholl, can he get another one? Blocked by Matera. Shuffled out to Cousins from McKenna. Oh, Pickett good.
prepared to go for it too, Jared. He takes that risk of going for it, but he's so confident in doing so, he more than often gets it.
Pretty clean when he grabs it.
And they also back him up too. Sorry, Pete. If he does go for it, they back him from behind.
The two Skull Murphy lookalikes, Martin and Pike. Pike kicks out of bounds. Free kick to Peter Matera. Simmons might take it down there. No, it's going to be Matera. No, it's going to be Simmons. According to the umpire. Cousins. Left back pocket. Not too much happening for West Coast at the moment. North Melbourne with all the aces, you would think. The two number 22, Stone loses out, picked up by Fuster. Martin, front posse, punches to the front again, as has been his ploy all day. He's done it successfully. Pickett again. Well, you were talking about him reading the play well, and that was sensational. He really did that well. Abraham. Stevens, it's Harvey. Harvey from midfield. North getting plenty of opportunities up on the forward line. Now, is that a push out?
Definitely.
It will be.
Good use of the body there by Cousins. He just took the front spot, wouldn't allow Pike to come round in front of him, and finished up with the reward of the free kick.
Finally gets it moving. Out to Waterman. Had a dirty day. Couldn't take the mark. Simpson hammers it further forward. Cousins confronted by Pike.
It's free kick to Matera. The advantage be played? No. Matera was shepherding Chandler there, and Chandler just crashed into the back of him, which is why the free kick is being given by Hayden Kennedy.
Not another injury, I hope. It's like a war zone already on the bench. And if Matera's injured, you'd wonder who could come back on.
See this again. Cousins goes for it. Matera provides the shepherd, and Chandler from behind out of screen there.
So Peter Matera, left half-back flank. Stone, marking in front of his opposite number 22, Roberts. And McIntosh thinks about making a lead. He tries to run off Carey. He goes longer than that. Fuster went for the big climb. Could have given away a free kick. Comes out with the footy. Kick comes up from Cousins to half forward. Out of bounds. No, beg your pardon. Phil Matera. He's outside 50, probably about 60 metres at least. He's going back even further.
He's going to have to kick it up in the air because Gehrig's going to be unable to make a lead for him. Just his fourth kick coming up.
Kicks right on 50.
Well, no,
on his own is Heady.
Well, Byron Pickett was miles in front of him, Pete. He just didn't worry at all about where he was. He's trying to fill the hole in front and allow Heady just to sit behind.
And took subsequently the easiest of marks.
And they're only 20 points behind. Could make all the difference.
It could. Not an easy shot, as you saw in that previous angle. Heady right on the boundary line virtually. Not an impossible shot, but a very difficult one. To have any chance, you'd probably have to say that he must kick this goal. It's got 1 goal, 2 so far tonight. Runs around, tries to banana it, and judging by the lack of crowd reaction, he's missed.
Yeah, the idea is right there. There's a bit of eye play between he and Pickett, but if you push yourself too far towards the centre, then try and bend it back, it's terribly difficult to right angle on the footy to bring it back far enough to score the goal.
David King will kick in. And Shannon Grant have shared those duties today. King favours the harder side, predictably. Hewitt went at his teammate and let McKenna in over the head of Archer. Picked up by White. He goes at goal. Is that the one they need? Yes, it is. Mitchell White's first goal couldn't have come at a better time for West Coast. They get their 10th and the difference is back to 13 points.
Well, it's a pretty interesting time of the game because there's no way knowing that the West Coast would win this game if everybody was up and running and put everybody into a computer and came out with 100% performance. But North Melbourne have just fallen for that trap. They're playing slow-mo footy. It's as if the result's already been decided. West Coast still dangerous.
West Coast will certainly not lie down. They've got the difference back to 13 points. And North Melbourne maybe thinking they've got the game won. Will that sort of jog them out of their lethargy? It's on centre wing. Give by Reid.
What's happened though, Peter, is that the West Coast have now got a sniff.
Braun kicks to half forward. Ball punch back to White. Wobbles it up towards half forward. Pickett. Well, that's a terrific kick. Straight down the centre of the ground. Not wasting any time. Knock on by Carey. Scholl. North Melbourne can get the quick reply that they need. It needs to bounce correctly for them. Will it do so? Morrison, great effort to get there and touches it through for a rush behind. So the commitment's still there from West Coast.
The second one they've saved. Possibly a handball onto Martin Pike, or was it Martin Pike or Blakey? I think it might have been Martin Pike on the right there of Scholl. It didn't come off. Kick nearly went through, but just set up well enough for Morrison to get a hand on it.
So 14 points. I suppose we could say effectively 3 goals. McIntosh.
The West Coast are really in a position where they've got nothing to lose now, and they're playing pretty adventurous footy. And North Melbourne wouldn't want to drop their guard any more than they have done in the last couple of minutes, or they'll find themselves with a genuine fight in the last 5 minutes or so.
Cousins' kick was long to centre wing. Mitchell White wobbles it inboard. Scott put the foot out. Not really effective. Good tackle by Philip Matera. Robert Scott. Again to Stevens. Under pressure. Eagles with the numbers. There was a good tackle initially by Mitchell White that set up that play. It comes back to Heady. Heady centering kick. Martin will punch to the front again. They should be able to read that. Simmons, not effective hand pass. It needs to bounce for Brett Heady. He'll try to get onto the left. Front out of bounds. Dear oh dear. Barra on the boundary.
The Eagles have definitely got a sniff here. They're giving themselves a big chance. The crowd's rising. Peter Bell's come off with another blood nose and Rock's gone back on. And Daniel Metropolis is trying to warm up to prove he is fit because Gehrig is on one leg and shouldn't probably be out there.
King takes all before him. The footy out wide of Roberts. Again the 222. Stone, Roberts shepherded off the ball. Stone long and might even be there. Touched on the line, I fancy. Yes, it is. That would have been really handy. 11 and a quarter minutes remaining in the match. Time is probably on the wing already. Not a high-scoring affair. 12-13 to 10-12.
I think the time is probably is enough, Peter, but it's a matter of whether they can just sustain this performance, the West Coast, with so many injuries. But already there's more and more mistakes creeping into North Melbourne's game. They've certainly put the clutch in and they're just travelling in neutral at the moment. And the West Coast are really pumping the pressure on.
Stone's kick. King makes amends after that bad kick out. So to throw in right on 50, right half forward for West Coast. Crowd getting right behind the home team. North Melbourne has never won at Subiaco, remember, in their 3 previous visits here. Simmons, Heady, Waterman. Centering kick by Muddy, and it's a mark to Worsfold. The 2 veterans combining. Will it result in a goal?
He just wanted the ball more than David King to him. They were both side by side as the kick came forward. John Worsfold just presented himself and wanted that ball more. And a change too made by Dennis Pagan. Mark Roberts off.
This is a
Shannon Grant's on.
It just keeps the momentum going, doesn't it? It brings the scores obviously closer together.
Well, if he get this, it'll be 78 to 85. Anybody's game. Don't like it. Crowd doesn't like it either. So we approach the halfway mark of the term. What a miss. From behind by John Worsfold. 2 goals is the margin. Not much. Crocker, Roberts, on there on the bench. Kick out comes to Pickett.
And this is where the real congestion is now, Pete. The kick coming in from Pickett to a real busy area.
Not a great kick. Braun has taken the mark virtually on centre wing. 2 kicks from goal.
It's good work by Brett Heady there also. He stood as a free man away on the other side of the ground, not allowing North Melbourne to switch the ball.
Archer got 2 mitts to it. Taken over the line eventually by Pickett. Played all 16 games this year. 50 metres from goal. The last half of the last quarter. North hanging grimly onto this lead. Fuster breaks clear, across his body, snaps, might be one behind, no, bounces to the wrong side of the post for West Coast and out of bounds, although maybe it's probably
It's
a better
result sometimes, Pete. You can get the from the boundary throw and you can set something up and try and score a goal from it.
Well, the ball inside 50 for a long time now for West Coast, but they haven't been able to do really too much. McCurtain, ball, little give to Cousins. Can he get clear? Can't break the tackle of King. Quick hand pass to Simmons. Simmons snaps. Crowd likes it. I think he's got the goal. He has.
And that's the setup we're talking about. Peter was ball wanting to get Cousins. Cousins asked the players to open up. Pike was inside him, but then just allowed him to go past really quickly. And with his speed, he's hard to pick up. Of course, then just giving the ball off to Simmons who finished. But that's the setup they wanted in the previous throw-in. They couldn't affect it. This time Cousins got the ball. That's the result there.
Well, home ground, home crowd, and plenty of momentum. She's going to be a cliffhanger.
It's hard, it's close. It probably won't go down as the prettiest game of football we've ever seen, but boy, the crowd are really getting into this now. Breaking clear is Simpson. Kicks it to right half forward. Stone goes for the safety of the boundary line to get it away from Shaw. On the boundary line, Barra.
Pete, there's 36,615,000 people here. I reckon 36,000 are cheering for the Eagles, and they're just lifting the players. This could be a miraculous win if the Eagles get up.
Yes, if they do. Next goal is going to be very important in the punch away by Scholl. Simmons, who kicked the last goal, back to Scholl. Tackle by Stone. Very important ball, this one. Simmons wraps up his opponent. Good tackle. They both go to the ground for another bounce. 85 plays 79. Difference at half-time was 20 points. The Eagles worked their way back. 14 points at three-quarter time. It got out to 20 again early in the final term. Kick by Chandler. This is going to be an interesting ball. Carey, can he get clear? Morrison, will he rush it through from behind? He wanted to, I think. They finally will. Taken over the line by Reid.
And North Melbourne pretty keen to get David King back into the action. He's been sitting down at full back for a fair period of time. So they're bringing Martin Pike down. He's going to take care of John Worsfold. Worsfold's going all the way with King. So effectively North Melbourne achieved their result anyway.
Yeah, they've got the extra player down there.
And they've got King up into the middle of the ground.
McIntosh to Morrison to Ball, marking in front of McCurtain.
You reckon King is going to expose Worsfold's lack of pace if he gets him up into the middle?
Archer, name on it. A little nudge in the back. The umpire says no, it doesn't warrant a free kick, but Archer's good enough to recover quickly. To Rock. He's really come back into a little bit of form today, you'd reckon. To half forward, slapped out to Morrison. Nice ball to get around Scholl. Also his teammate in Stone. Kicks to Fuster, went up one-handed. Philip Matera at the back of the pack, couldn't take it. Crowd calling out for a holding the ball decision after Fuster's tackle on Scott, but the umpire will ball it up. Still on centre wing. We've got just under 8 minutes remaining in the match. The Eagles need a couple of goals. Can they get them? A walking wounded on the bench. Stevens' kick is high. Punch away by Ball. Didn't get it as far as he wanted to. McKenna nearly wrapped up in the tackle. It comes out to King, who's been a very good player at both ends of the ground today. Just outside 50. Long kick. Carey and McIntosh. This is important. Carey has taken them off.
Sorry, but fortunately, because he had Abraham 15 metres in front of him, King. All they had to be was a handball or a short kick over the top. Unfortunately, had the quality of someone like Carey up there, one out, who could take that mark. It could have easily been through for a point. The move of King down the field, as Jared said, was quite right. It exposed them. But almost have come undone.
Kicked 4 goals in the second quarter, Wayne Carey. Perhaps fittingly, could kick the match-winning goal here. It may be early to say that with 7 minutes remaining, but this is a vital kick. Which he gets. 5 goals, 1 to the King, Wayne Carey. A little bit of squaring off behind play. The emergency umpire out there, so to the West Coast runner, Don Pike.
And unbelievably, David King's come over to Brett Chandler and said,
get away from
us
it.
on a bit of maturity here. Let's pull away from Peter Matera.
That's that long kick there from King. He did have Abraham 20 metres in front.
So Pike has ended up with John Worsfold down in the defensive area.
It's like a hard lift to the head, that goal from Wayne Carey. Will it stop the Eagles in their tracks? McCurtain wins it from the circle. Pike buffeted by Simpson. They work it forward, almost literally. Cousins.
Yeah, well played, Cousins.
Stevens. North answering the challenge now. Carey, can he get another one? He's kicked 5 around McIntosh. Snaps. It's as far as it's going. Mark taken by Reid in front of Winston Abraham. But time is the enemy for West Coast now. 13-14 to 11-13. 79 to 92. They need 3 goals. Could happen, perhaps unlikely. McCurtain in front, knocked away by Ball. Might get a second chance, he does. McCurtain's tackle ineffective. To Simmons, looking for options up midfield, needs to be quick. Low trajectory pass. Is that a mark? The umpire says white, yes.
We've got the runners down the middle of the ground. They've got anybody on the end of it.
Braun. Anderson comes at him. Oh, Matera might have got the mark. Yes, he's paid it. Gee, that was a good effort, wasn't it?
Well, the move of Peter Matera to the forward line's been made, and it's paid a dividend here if he can go back and slot this one through. And look, to the Eagles' credit, they just will not die, and it's been a fantastic fighting performance from them. They may finish up winning the game.
Yep.
It's an unlikely result, but this goal goes through. They're just 6 points behind. There's plenty of time left. And it would be an amazing victory if that's the case.
And the move of Matera forward also might drag King back there to try and match him up, because Chandler doesn't have the height to match Matera, so a counter move.
Johnny Worsfold missed one from a similar position without wishing to put a hex on him. They'll be biting their nails in there. Matera from 45 metres drops it awkwardly. And I don't think it might even be a behind. Yes, it's just scraped in. He kicked it like an injured player, didn't he?
Yeah, he's that problem from the back that he copped on the other side of the ground. The challenge from Chandler.
Didn't really follow through. Houston, big fly. Hewitt beats him though. Former basketballer. So time the enemy of West Coast now. They need 2 goals. Not an impossible task, certainly, but the way this quarter's being played, probably it's not likely.
And just to emphasise the point that the Eagles have got through their lack of fit players on the bench, North Melbourne have got their 4 interchange players up and running around the boundary line.
Scholl's kick nearly marked by McKenna. Harvey may make him pay. He won't. That's out of bounds. Throw in right next to the behind post. So 2 goals needed by the Eagles. Perhaps the best they can hope for now is a draw. They've got to get it down quickly. Crowd a little bit quiet now. North can get one here. Conversely, that will be the ball game. Carey and McIntosh. McIntosh over the top. This sort of tactic suiting North Melbourne. Another ball up. With their first win at Subiaco, if in fact they are to pull it off. Snap by Simpson. It's not a goal, but it's a very valuable behind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just in that sometimes suggests that sometimes when you go forward, as they did just before that toss-up was made with it to kick the ball out of bounds is a better result, Pete, than actually kicking the point. Then you have a chance to set up from the throw-in. As we see the kick coming in from McIntosh to find Stone, who's very much on his own.
Stone at half-back. Attacks down the members' side here at Subiaco, and it bounces just inside the line next to the interchange coach on centre wing. We'll see a throw in. So the Eagles have got to get it forward. Barra, you got something for us?
But just an interesting tactic by Mick Martin. He keeps running Fraser Gehrig right down the ground and back, working that leg over and not doing the big fella any good at all.
Yes, Mick himself, of course, back from injury. Cousins. And this forward thrust, they must get something out of it, the Eagles. Heady loops it over the top. Can Johnny Worsfold make amends? Here he can't. Great tackle by Robert Scott. And it enables John Blakey to pick up the crumbs. The veteran, he predictably bombs it long, gets it almost up towards centre wing. Fuster's in front, couldn't complete the mark. Quick kick by Waterman from the front of the pack. Gets it up to a 2-on-2 contest. Good tackle down there by Pickett. And North are going to run it out again through Scott. But Fuster has taken the mark.
And just to kick off the side, they've got enough to advantage the Eagles here. Fuster needs to find someone. They're short up forward. Gehrig still hobbling. They've only got Phil Matera and Peter Matera in that square area. Worsfold now running back, might have the run of it now.
To North Melbourne. Archer was there. Pickett goes for the boundary line and finds it. The only good thing for West Coast, it's down there, but with the difference being 13 points, they need 3 scoring shots to draw. Possible.
And Chandler's come off Peter Matera too. He's got Cousins, and it's now Johnny Blakey on Peter Matera.
Heady takes the hand pass. Smothered. King a chance, beaten for it by Morrison. King still couldn't get it out of the open. Stevens bullets his way past Stone. And North Melbourne, well, they've found the answers here. Harvey takes the hand pass at centre wing. Harvey kicks to a contest at half forward. Well, the contest was between Carey and McIntosh. I think the latter was disadvantaged by the sun, but Carey certainly read it best. And they can wrap it right up here. Harvey's run down the ground. He should be able to pick it up. Will he give it back to Anderson? He will. Anderson shoots and hits the post. So they need 3 goals to win in 2 minutes.
And maybe Harvey would have been better off with a short chip kickback to Anderson to enable him to set up with a direct shot. Yep. But just having a look at the West Coast this season, Ross, they've just about lost their invincibility at this ground with, I think this will be about their 3rd loss here, with Melbourne and St Kilda also beating them. And the Swans, well, I think tipped them over at the Wacker earlier in the season.
Well, I think it's also showing too that as time goes by, sides are becoming more adept at travelling. And we saw, of course, with Carlton over Adelaide at Footy Park that interstate travel isn't such the burden that a lot of interstate clubs have found.
Waterman's kick taken by Fuster, but Fuster in turn has taken it out of bounds. And that's going to help only one side, and that's Northman.
And of course the same thing's happened for Sydney up at the SCG, Jared. This year they've had a couple of games where they've struggled.
Bad news for Paul Kelly too. We understand a knee reconstruction. It's terrible news. We hope it's better than that, but that's the information we have. Simpson's kick towards centre wing. King's been good. Pressured by Morrison, out of bounds again, but suiting North Melbourne.
I think at the end of the day though, Ross, any time you travel 4 hours in a plane, be it the West Coast or the Dockers to Melbourne, or vice versa, the Melbourne sides, the other sides up north in Queensland and New South Wales, they come over here and they have a win. It's a major journey for them, and it's a major victory. Good
tackle by Anderson. Ball spills free, picked up by Stevens. Stevens kicked to half forward. They're giving Carey plenty of room. Martin again knocks it to the front. McKenna there should get there first, and does. Actually, McIntosh. We go to Gehrig. No, he won't. Goes a little bit longer. Stone.
Mickey Martin had a dead set opportunity to kick a
goal. Reed.
Couldn't change the program of punching defensively.
Out of bounds, but not on the full. This crowd gets a great kick out of those players kicking goals. I remember when Rod Carter got one of the SCG. You were probably in that side, were you, Jared?
I was, and I can tell you Rod remembers it also.
Well, North will remember this day. They're going to win the match. Rock, right centre wing, chewing up valuable time. Rock decides to go long with the kick. McKenna backs back. Read it a little bit better than Harvey. So time running out. Probably has run out now for the Eagles. Broad, left half back. Crowd a little bit stunned. The Eagles fought their way back, but injuries have certainly taken their toll of their star players today. Fuster Archer still running. Mitchell White moved the ball pretty quickly, but not a great kick. Didn't really look. I guess Heady was the target, but it was well wide of him. So, not a happy coaching box. Heads being shaken. Tim Jebb and Mick Malthouse there. Marking contest on centre wing. Abraham intercepting his Fuster. Chance for Stone. Ball. Cousins. Cousins' centering kick. Heady the target, has to beat two. Rebounds to Waterman. Waterman into the pocket. Worsfold taken out by Pike, and he rebounds off Philip Matera for a throw in left forward pocket. So the time has run out. Dennis Pagan will be more than happy. He's come over here to restore North Melbourne's first win at this ground. And there's the siren to indicate that. North Melbourne running out victors by 14 points, 13-16, 94, defeating West Coast Eagles 11-14, 80. Well, I suppose injuries did take their toll, but that's taking away something from North Melbourne.
Oh, I think there's no question that it certainly stymied the ability of Mick Malthouse and his crew to try and shuffle their players around, but undoubtedly, as we just watch here, Wayne Carey run across the ground to shake the hand of Glenn Jakovic, who is injured. That's why he couldn't come back onto the ground, and I think if they had their full squad and they didn't have Fraser Gehrig on one leg, it would have been certainly more competitive, but a very meritorious effort by West Coast nevertheless, Jared.
No doubt, but it was that second quarter burst by Wayne Carey that really did break this game apart. And Wayne Carey down on the ground with Adrian Barrage.
Well, Duck, a very important win over here, I guess.
Yeah, look, it's a game both clubs had to win, and it's the toughest assignment in footy, I reckon. So to come over here and win is just sensational. So now we're wrapped.
Now, mate, quickly, you just went over to see Jacko. A couple of consoling words, I guess.
Oh yeah, look, I think we've played on one another a couple of times, and we've both been carrying injuries, and I think he was carrying one today. So I just wished him luck for the rest of the year.
Good on you, mate. All the best. Well done, Tom.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
Okay, thanks, Barrett. Wayne Carey taking the points today. North Melbourne likewise, 94-80. Winners for the first time at Subiaco. Good afternoon. Good.